dick.
Fuck up.
Wow,
Well, when you grow
wow.
one.
Guys,
Oh.
guys, it is Saturday night, and next podcast is live. Yo, again, just a little look, kind of like behind
Oh,
the
heard it.
scenes at what happens, when we're not, when you don't hear us right off the bat. So you can just imagine what the conversation was about. Huge shout out to the chat. We have our brother Board Game Renegade already hitting up that super chat. Thank you, my brother. He says, Sea of Thieves is the shit. My fave. My
You're just
man,
a year too late.
dude, we are gonna talk about that tonight. And just to let you know, if you're wondering where I'm gonna go with it, I'm probably gonna be playing the game right after this show. So you can just imagine what I'm gonna say.
I thought
But
you were gonna say I'm playing the game while I'm
no,
doing
no,
the
I
show.
can't do that, man. There's too many levers, there's too many buttons and stuff like that. See, K-Mega now knows you got to be on top of it throughout the whole podcast to make
Yes.
sure everything is going. You're
Yes.
constantly looking at like sound bars and all that good stuff to make sure everything is coming through properly. So, yeah, but without further ado, guys, we got to get into the intros. And first off, newly proclaimed royalty on the panel. He is known as the king of the peasants, Dark Optimus.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy to be here. Ready to get into these topics, dude.
All right, are your royal peasants in the chat though? That's one I want to know.
I don't think I see anybody. No. I don't. Is Dirty J in there? Is he in there? If
Dirty
he's in
J.
there, then he's the second in command peasant.
All right, so he's the second, but so I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna break down the royalty kind of like ladder. I was gonna go somewhere with that, but I can't do that to Dirty J. Dude, I also have to say, man, it is your triumphant return to gameplay. Are you excited that you
Not
actually
really.
have your gameplay in the voting this week, bro?
I actually didn't even want to do it. You just made me. You were like, you know what, Dark? If you don't bring gameplay this week, you're fired. I was like, okay, well then I guess I gotta bring gameplay.
All right, there was more sniffling. There was a couple tears involved, and it wasn't on my end. Just to let you guys know.
Not true.
But Dark, we got some hot topics, and we got to move through the intros because we got to get into this stuff, man. I think we're gonna have a great show. Can't wait to hear what you have to say about it. But we're moving on. Huge shout out to my brother. He is coming live from the 405, and he is catching up on the topics now because I forgot to put him in the DM. K Mega.
Man, I thought there was a coup going on, man. I thought Pred finally got to y'all, man, and just said, hey, man, we don't need Mega with the group anymore. And I'm like, what? Because I didn't know anything. I was like, I hit up Bot. I said, hey, man, what's going on? Ready to do it. Here's my gameplay. What's up? What's up? Didn't hear nothing. I'm like, about 4 o'clock came. There was no topics, and I was like, well, I guess he's not having a show. I didn't see anything, and then I seen him post like, hey, retweet this out. And I'm like, wait, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, got that cleared up, and man, good to be back. I was gone last week, of course. My daughter, she had a fashion show. She did really well. It's for charity. And then, of course, I had my cousin's birthday party and her 50th birthday party, and she did it up big, man. She did it up big, and so I didn't get home until like 1 o'clock in the morning. And
Do
then,
you remember how you got home though? That's all
I had to drive, so there was no overindulging into the drink. So I'm going to make up for it. And then, of course, this week, and then, of course, Sunday, went and seen Game of Thrones. I mean, say Game of Thrones. Went to see Endgame. And then came home and then watched Game of Thrones. So it was a very exhausting Sunday.
You're mind blown right now, man.
Oh man, my mind's still blown.
Yo, Mega, I gotta let you know, man. You gotta bring your A game today because I keep hearing that last week's episode was one of the absolute best we've ever done. We covered every topic, it was running smoothly. Differences of opinion, people chiming in. So, bruh. You gotta let them know that you are an all-star on this panel as well. We gotta get that A game tonight, brother.
Hey man, I've been holding this damn show on my shoulders ever since day
Oh
one.
no!
So it's finally good to see that other people are finally taking in the steps that I have taught them.
That was
So
more like the Don. Just saying.
okay, that's fine.
Oh
But
no!
regardless, that's fine. That's fine. But anyway, man, I'm glad to be here, man. So yeah, we're gonna step it up. We're gonna do our thing.
Nice, brother. And next on the list, the newest Spider-Man fanboy that I have seen out there in Twitterverse, our brother Knoxximus.
Twig, twig,
Oh,
twig, twig, son. Hell yeah, that's Spider-Man. Flinging around and shit. Yo, what's good, everybody, man? Yo, it's gonna be an awesome show, man. It's gonna be good, man.
all right, brother.
We're gonna
I,
get
I,
it
I
popping. We're
forgot
gonna
how
get
many
it popping.
people do we have on the panel? Are we like the Sinister Six here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With O Snaps, we would be the Sinister Six. I guess we gotta wait. We gotta wait for Doc Ock to chime in, right?
Yeah.
Brother, your gameplay, by the way, absolute fire. You're the only person that I can watch certain games get played and be like, you know what? That looks pretty fucking good right there, man. So I can't wait to let people check that out. And of course, you are one of the most opinionated people out here on YouTube. So I can't wait for you to chime in on these topics that K Mega doesn't even know what they are yet.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro.
You all ready, kid? Let's get it.
And last but certainly not least, part of the starting lineup here on Next Podcast, a lot of people out there might even say an all-star, our brother Predator.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy to be here. Another week. Finally got K Mega back, so the show's gonna be all fucked up. Dark lost his penis a couple of days ago, so he's trying to find it
no.
still.
Oh man, why you gotta do me like that,
Mr.
Brad?
AKA last place.
Oh,
It'll
damn.
be interesting to see who comes in last, him or Knox.
It would probably be me.
No, it'll probably be me.
Oh,
I got the PlayStation shit going. You know what I mean? So
hey, there are PlayStation fans in the chat, all right, and if they check it out, I think I will say, little spoiler here, the God of War gameplay that you actually put in this week is better than any God of War gameplay that K Mega has ever put on this show.
Ooh,
Oh!
and Fred. I would have to even say Fred too.
How do you know?
Because he put in the DM.
Yeah. And on that note, guys, this is the podcast where you can vote on who has the best gameplay. You're probably wondering where the gameplay is. Well, here we go, guys. Let's get into it. And last week's winner was Predator, so you can't vote for him this week, but you will have Knox. You will have the Angry Otter himself, King of the Peasants, Dark Optimus. You will have K Mega, and of course, yours truly, King Neutral, Xbot448 to choose from. Sit back, relax, enjoy, and let's get into these topics. And I'm trying to think of where to go first because in these topics, man, they're all beefy right now. So let's start with the Borderlands 3 gameplay reveal. First thing I gotta do, I gotta ask who has seen it. Anybody on the panel who has seen the gameplay reveal?
I have.
Pieces.
I saw. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it in pieces too.
All right. Well, we got to get general thoughts, and since Dark was really excited here, we're gonna go with Dark Optimus first. The gameplay reveal for Borderlands 3, a game people have been waiting for and anticipating for such a long time. Did the gameplay live up to the hype? What do you think, brother?
It's more Borderlands 3. I mean, well, it's more Borderlands.
It's
It's more Borderlands. I mean, they did add a lot of the mechanics that a lot of the fans have been asking for, like sliding, crouching, um, jumping, things like that. There's a lot of things that they didn't have, and the other ones that we wish we did have. Graphically, it looks pretty much the same as the other ones, but it does look a little bit more. In some parts, like sometimes it looks more like realistic in certain
but
like
it's cell shading, man.
environments.
Don't they have to do
It's
realism? Isn't that what
it,
people want?
well, it's self shading, but then there's also like it's for some reason like some of the environments look a little bit more realistic. So it looked good though, man. I mean, like the humor's there, like from what I've been hearing and reading and watching, it all looks Borderlands. It's definitely gonna be something that I think Borderlands fans are gonna absolutely enjoy. I have heard some things from some people saying that they had a lot of problems when they went and tested it out in LA, saying that basically there was bugs and stuff like that, and I was just like thinking to myself, that's probably, you guys were probably playing an earlier build than what we're gonna get anyways in September. So I think, we can kind of squash that whole bug thing right now for now,
You're gonna
because I
squash
mean,
the bug? Is that what you just said,
pretty much,
man?
yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed the gameplay. It looked really nice. It's the characters look cool. Like, we only got to see Zane and Amara.
Amara.
They looked really cool. Like, Amara is the new Siren. She looks like she's gonna do some really cool moves and a lot of damage to enemies and stuff. Zane, he kind of looks like like the soldier type, so he's probably gonna have more of a combat focused type of um uh
Gameplay?
gameplay,
There we
stuff
go.
like that.
I got
So
your back, brother.
yeah, thanks, man. Sometimes you lose your train of thought.
Well, that's what
But
happens when you try to play a game while
I'm not I'm
podcasting,
not I'm not
Mr.
playing right now.
Professional.
I'm not even
Mega,
playing
he
right now.
tried
What
to
are you
pull a
talking
you,
about?
man. He tried to play a game while
I
being on
but
next podcast.
I actually know how to talk, unlike Mega, where he's just like, well, let's save lock.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Mega's quiet. Yeah, I don't even think he
I
heard
know.
you. He might have went for a sandwich or something, man.
Probably
No,
did.
I'm not paying attention to this troll. Let's go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep stuttering and fumbling over your damn words. Let's go.
What?
But yeah, man. I mean, I'm super excited for
But are
Borderlands
are you
3.
are you are you a Borderlands fan? Like, it doesn't sound like
Yeah,
it, man.
yeah. I was when the first two came out. And, those kind of games. I play through the story. I know a lot of people who keep continuing to play through it to get the better weapons. I play through the story and then I'm out. After that, because it's just like and then I play all the DLC and things like that as well. And then I'm out and playing something else. I don't continue to try to hunt for the better weapons and things like that. I just like, I enjoy the story. I enjoy the gameplay. Because it's very comedic
Was it
and
Claptrap? Yo, Claptrap,
yeah, they
he
don't.
sounded crazy in the gameplay, man.
Yeah, they don't. Well, it's because it's a different actor now. It's not the same guy. The guy who was doing it left 2K, or yeah, Gearbox, left Gearbox, and there was like an article about that too, where he said that something about he was asking for money this time, and they didn't want to give it to him, and he said, "Well, then f you," basically,
Mm.
and they got somebody else to do it, and it's just like, okay, well,
Well, as long
you
as
know.
it's not that dude that voices everything. What the hell is his name again?
It's not that dude.
No,
You're
was it?
thinking
Is
of
it Nolan North, or is that?
Nolan North.
Yeah.
No, it's not Nolan
Okay.
North.
All right.
It's not Nolan North, and it's not that other guy.
He's
That
grabbing all the voiceover roles, though, brother.
Yeah.
Troy Baker.
Oh, Troy
Troy Baker.
Baker. There
Yeah,
he is.
it's
There
not. It's
he
none
is.
of those guys. So I mean, you're gonna
Of
get
course, the pony would know.
a different one.
Yeah.
That is true. He is a pony.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
but I think a lot of people will enjoy it. I think there's gonna be a lot of hype going around about it. So we'll see. I mean, a lot of times when games get hyped like this, it turns out to be not as good. But I mean, it is Borderlands. Gearbox has been doing it for a long time. So we'll see.
all right, brother. I think I got to approach this a little differently. So, to the rest of the panel members, who here is a Borderlands fan? How about that? Do we have any?
All right. Check it out, right?
All right.
I picked it up, right? I had picked it up when it went on a sale because I always wanted to check it out back in the 360 days. So I picked it up a little while ago, like I think a year ago or whatever. I got into it for a bit and it was cool. You know what I mean? Like it was cool. the way the weapon, the variety in the weapons, and that shit was pretty dope. If for a looter shooter, if you like getting different fucking guns and shit, that shit got it in spades, bro. But I don't know, bro. There was just something about it that I really wasn't feeling either at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it has some cool shit, but then I was like, I don't know, something about the feel of it, the way you traverse the maps and stuff. I just didn't really.
I couldn't get into it either, brother. And I know that will be blasphemy out there for some people, but I tried it, man. I could not get into Borderlands, and I thought I would with liking like Destiny 2 and everything like that, and people saying
that's the thing, and you're used to that movement from Destiny 2. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't deal with it. When I play the Division, I already know I'm going in on some Rainbow Six type shit with the Division, so you know how to play there. You know, even though it's drastically different from Destiny, but with Borderlands, you kind of expect it. It's almost like it's, you know, like Destiny just cloned it, which is what Destiny did, right? At the end of the day, only they just had that tighter gameplay, that the Destiny feel. That's the feel I don't get when I'm playing Borderlands.
Well, they had that Halo feel, you know. They had that they were
Whoa.
coming off of Halo, so they had that Halo gameplay type of feel to it.
and that shit is dope.
That is true. I'm not gonna deny you on that one. That's very true. We got to see what Borderlands 3 is gonna bring.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna say,
It
what
is-
did you think about the gameplay that you saw? Because you said you saw bits. And
Yeah,
pieces, right?
it looked nice. It looked nice. I saw them. He was walking around, and they were making a big deal because now you can, I guess now you could clamber and you can slide under obstacles. I guess that was something you couldn't do.
Yeah, you couldn't do that.
Oh, all right. So so they were clapping about that. I'm like, what? All right, well, isn't that just standard? But you know, well, but it is what it looked all right. It looked cool. You know, I might wait for a sale, something like that, and pick it up. It ain't a must buy. It ain't a day one for me.
You and those sales, man. But I guess it did well for you with Spider-Man. So I
Hell
guess it's something that
Loving
works for
shit.
you, right, brother?
Twig.
Oh no.
But 25 yuccas, not 65. 25. Enjoying it just the same as everybody else.
And we'll see that later on. Like I said, you got some interesting gameplay. I think a lot of people are gonna like. Yo, Predator. I don't know if you're a Borderlands fan. I want to know. Like, first off, did you ever get into Borderlands? And then, what did you think about the gameplay reveal? What things that you saw that you liked? Anything that you didn't like? What's up, man?
You know, I didn't get into the Borderlands franchise. I did pick it up. I think it came out on Games with Gold, or maybe it was in Game Pass or something at one point in time. And I downloaded it. I played a little bit of it. It just wasn't my type of shooter. And I hate to say this. I know this may come up with somebody else, but like I didn't like the cell shaded mechanics.
Oh no!
I just didn't like it. Like I expected it in obviously Crackdown, but I've never been a fan of that artistic style. Even with Zelda, I wasn't a big fan of it, you know. So I grudged through Zelda, but like I don't know, man. Like when I tried to pick it up, you know, and try and play it, like there was other shit out at the time that kind of deterred me from playing it, you know. But I did want to try it. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, it sucks, and I've never even picked up the game before. And picking up Borderlands 3, I may pick this one up, like as a, you know, something that holds me over. But with Rage coming out, I've already made my decision on what, you know, getting for the summer. So I don't think I'll be popping in Borderlands 3 until I hit like maybe finish Rage, and there's nothing out in between that time frame while I'm waiting on Gears.
Borderlands 3 comes out in September, so.
Oh, does it? I thought it came out this summer.
No.
I'm definitely not getting it then. If it's coming out September, I have to play.
You're no chance now, man. No
yeah,
chance.
I mean, I'll wait till it drops down, maybe to 30 yuckers.
That's how you gotta do it.
There's no R in yuccas, people. Come on, let's get this real.
Yuccas.
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 It's like okay, perfect
It's
example.
yuckers, okay, guys?
Oh
Yuckers.
man. Well, I think it's acceptable for you, Dark. I'm just saying. I think it'll pass for you. Yo,
30 yuckers. Oh my god.
yuckers. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yuckers! You want me to spend all that money on that crap?
You gotta get those yuckers, damn it.
Oh, no. Yo, guys, huge shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat. And it's just to say one thing. And it's one thing to K Mega, and I think we can all agree on this. K Mega, stop playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, man.
Bruh. I'm I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost about to beat this. I'm gonna beat it this. Hopefully I can beat it tonight. If not, it's definitely going to get beat tomorrow because I'm seeing that everything is coming to a head. So I mean, yeah, man.
So you have
300,
another
almost
20
300
hours.
hours, like 271 hours in.
I think he wants to play you in Mortal Kombat this Sunday.
I want to play Mortal Kombat again. I mean, but I made it. I made a conscious effort. Like, look, man, I have to beat this game. I'm not going to go away until I beat this game. So, I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
Sir X-Man said, K Mega said it was going to be there 2 weeks ago, by the way.
I know. I was thinking that I was there, but then it just like I got caught up into going to every question, damn near every question mark. Then I was like, you know what? I want to touch everything on the map. I got a diamond for hitting every spot in the in the game. So I mean, you know, I've been putting in work on this game,
Did you finish the main storyline though?
I'm still in the story. I did beat the Atlantis little story. And like there's 3 different stories. That's the catch to this, is that there's 3 other stories within the main story. Like you got the Code of Cosmos, you have this other stuff, you got this other stuff going on. That the only things left for me is the Code of Cosmos, and I only got 3 of these bastards left, and then it's just the 2 DLCs, the one that they just dropped, and then the Horseman.
All right, guys, I got to do it again. Sir X-Man, hit up that super chat one more time. Again, thank you so much for the support, brother. He said, K Mega, Sunday is fight night. Dude, you know that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We're gonna have to do that, man.
Oh, dude, if I'm not at the laundromat, I'll join you guys.
I'm with it. Like I'm gonna have another fight night next week, either after GRG or that Saturday. So yeah, we could do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. I'm gonna have this game done, man. I'm gonna have this game done before this weekend. Before we do that tomorrow night. Promise.
Right. And I also, since we're talking about Mortal Kombat, you know, the moderator of the year is in the chat right now. Huge shout out to UK Dazzers. And I think he's pretty sad right now. I think that's what's going on. I think he is a little he's a little emotionally down because with his Scorpion, he can do the teleport, but he no longer has back and Y to do the uppercut with the sword. So he's probably feeling really down right now. So everybody in the chat, please cheer up Daz, because he can't do one of his 2 tricks that he was using in Mortal Kombat X. I'm just saying, throwing it out there. But getting back on topic though, Mega.
Yeah.
First off, I know you play a lot of games, and I know you've been playing games for a long time. Have you?
Don't say that. That's not the truth. Let the people say that I'm a fraud. I don't play games.
Oh man, I don't listen to that.
I knew it.
All that ish out there, man.
I knew it. I knew you.
Dude,
if
a game is on an emulator, I can guarantee K Mega will try it. I'm just saying.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, Mega, have you ever gotten into Borderlands?
You know what? This is the thing. All right, so I just watched while Doc Otter was talking and boring the hell out of me. I was watching the reveal. So I was just watching the reveal, and you know what? It looks really fun to play. I bought Borderlands when it first came out, not day one because I didn't know what the hell it was, but I bought it and I played about 2 hours, and then I took it back and traded it in for something else at GameStop. And then the reasoning behind that is because I didn't understand about the whole looter shooter thing. It was odd to me. I just didn't get it. And I really wasn't into the online co-op thing. I mean, everything was couch co-op or me playing Call of Duty. That's how it was for me when it came to online gaming. So I really just didn't understand the game. So I went back and I tried to play I bought the Handsome Jack collection, and I played the prequel, and I didn't like the prequel at all. I got maybe about 5-6 hours in, and I'm like, oh, this is dragging on. This is just not fun. So my friend was saying, man, look, Borderlands, the first Borderlands and Borderlands 2 is just so good, so awesome. So I'm like, man, I'll go back eventually and go and check it out. So what happened is that since Anthem, Division, all these other looter shooters that came about in between then, I love those type of games, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm finna go ahead and give it another try. And then I just went ahead and bought the Borderlands like the remastered edition or whatever.
Yeah,
Game of the Year
that's the
edition.
game that Mooch has been playing like
Right.
constantly as
And
well.
I've been having a blast with it. Like,
Really?
whoa. Yeah, like, man, I said, okay, I got to go on to Odyssey because I said I'm going to go ahead and beat Odyssey. But I can't wait to go back on it and jump and play it again, especially now that they got 4-player co-op on it. So I want to go back and try to play all of them except maybe the prequel. The prequel just doesn't seem like it has any hope. But the but Borderlands 1 and then Borderlands 2, I definitely want to sink my teeth into it. I hope anybody can hit me up and say, hey man, Mega, if you want to come and play, let's go ahead and just go through and just tear some shit up. I'm definitely down for that. And I'm looking forward to it. I definitely want to go ahead and try Borderlands 3. It might not be a day one for me, but I'll go ahead and show support because I'm really gotten into the looter shooter. Like everybody else has gotten into the battle royale mode. I'm all in when it comes to the looter shooter. So I'm with it.
Nice. Now, huge shout out to Ricardo Willis hitting up that super chat, showing some love. He said, great show, and I like the gameplay. He said K Mega GRG was a great show last night.
Oh man, thank you very much.
Nice. Ricardo,
Thank you.
another one of the awesome supporters, for
Thank you, Ricardo.
multiple shows, man. Multiple shows.
Yeah. Big shout out to FC Violet and to Show Shady for coming in and helping us out, man. It was the 100th episode, man. It just felt good, man. And
damn, 100 already?
Yeah, man. Been doing it
Dude,
for 2 years.
Dude, it feels like yesterday, bro.
I know, and it was really funny because I was because I had a technical difficulty, and Triple Cup brought up the fact, like, I remember the very first episode of GRG, and it was just a disaster. And I'm like, I know. And he says, and look, and we had the problem, but this time, other than was the first episode of GRG, was that I know I fixed it, so it was all good, man. But yeah, no,
yo,
man,
Mega,
really
now you know why.
it.
Now you know why next podcast took so long before the first episode. I
know.
I was trying to iron everything out, make sure there was no bugs or glitches or anything like that. But we still had them all anyway, man.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. But man, look, man, the next podcast is going strong. It's better than ever. And like I said, man, thank the listeners for listening to us and the crew, because none of this shit is possible unless it's a good crew, a good team that you can rely on to come in every week and to talk about games, and for the listeners to just support us.
My heart is warming right now because Mega actually said something nice about me. It was crazy.
Yeah, are you sure? Are you sure it was about you though? I don't know.
He said crew. Damn it.
Last I checked, you wasn't a part of the crew. I was talking about Don. I was talking about Fred.
Wow.
I was going back to Fooski and to Newark and
yo, huge shout out to the entire next podcast.
Windy City. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, damn, man, he brought it back to like the first 3 episodes there.
I know, right?
All right, but guys, moving on. When it comes to Borderlands, we all know that there's a guy behind the scenes, a Mr. Randy Pitchford, right? And you guys know he has the habit of poking at the wasp nest, poking at the beehive, and creating certain issues and stuff like that. Now, within the reveal, the last part of the reveal, Randy came out on stage and told everybody that there are no microtransactions in Borderlands 3. Now, of course, IGN, GameSpot, all the big, gaming news media out there, they kind of knew different, and they started calling them out on it. Has anybody been following that story?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Operation brought it up to me.
So, like, in your own words, K Mega, explain what was going on. We will chime in and stuff like that, and let us know what you think. Was it Randy being Randy there, or like, is it? What does microtransactions mean? Because they are gonna have they're gonna put cosmetic DLC in there that you can
right buy. And that was what he was saying. Like he came after him, and it was pretty cool. I can't say it word for word because I don't have it right in front of me, but it was he brought up the fact about, hey, there's no like play to win things like that, and then all of the media jumped on it immediately, like he was lying, and he's like, you know what the fuck I was talking about.
Well,
That's exactly
he
what he
said
said
no
on the
microtransactions.
Nah,
That's
yeah,
how
that's
he ended the
bullshit.
show.
Yeah, he
but
your
did.
man, your man is bullshit. Your man
but
trying to do some
no,
slick shit.
okay, but no, there's a difference though. Like there's when you say microtransactions, that dirty little word is basically and it's like what he said in the tweet was like, look, you guys know what I meant. That was really messed up what y'all tried to do. Y'all tried to play me. And he was saying, look, this is just for cosmetics. This isn't for any type of, it's kind of like what the Forza 7 situation with the Mortal Kombat 11 situation.
It's still a microtransaction though.
Yeah, but the way that the way GameStop, how he alluded to it, because I didn't read the articles from GameStop or from IGN and them, but from the way that he said it in his tweet was basically like, look, you tried to make this out to where you had to buy stuff in order to continue to keep playing in the game, kind of like Shadows of War type of stuff.
Mhm.
And he said that's not, it's just cosmetics.
But I
It's
don't think. I don't think.
Well,
I don't think that's what they were. I don't think that's what they were trying to imply. I think they were just
that's what he implied in the tweet. That's what he implied in the tweet, saying that you guys tried to lie about it.
Yeah, that's how he took it. But in reality, he's trying to make it. He's trying to separate, like, oh, if it's not pay to win, it's not a microtransaction. Negative, sir. It is still a microtransaction. You still charge it for something in the game.
It is a smaller transaction for something in the game.
Yeah, it exists. So don't sit there and go, the game don't got microtransactions, but you could buy cosmetics. That's retarded, dog. That's an oxymoron.
He should have came out and said there's not going to be any loot boxes, because I think that's what he was really trying to get at, is that there's not going to be any loot boxes.
Dark, all he had to say was this game will only have cosmetics.
No, what I'm saying is that he said it wrong. He didn't say it how he should have said it. That's what I'm saying, is that he didn't say it. He said no microtransactions, which to us, which to a lot of gamers, and to pretty much everybody in the world, microtransaction means no. When you say no microtransaction, that means nothing that's coming that you're gonna have to pay for.
And that's what I'm saying. Your man wants to separate it. Your man wants us to believe. He wants the consumers to believe.
Well,
there aren't any microtransactions because
he did come out and say that
afterwards.
I screwed up, and I didn't mean it that way, and
caught.
I actually meant it as it's gonna be the same thing as what they did with Borderlands 2, which is where they had costumes and cosmetics and different weapon skins.
Dark. I'm gonna correct that. What he said was he said that as of right now, we don't have any plans to put in anything in terms of cosmetic DLC as well. But we do. He's like, oh, we do know that eventually, the gamers are gonna want that, and we will be ready to give them exactly what they want. I really feel like this dude thinks he's a magician / businessman, and I think he tried to pull a quick one and tried to get away with it, and then had to come back with his kind of like excuse afterwards. I think when he said microtransactions, he knew exactly what he was saying, and then when he got called out, he had something to fall back on. No, this is what I meant, and these guys should know that.
But that's the thing, like we're talking about microtransactions that like have been in every freaking game that we've had this past generation.
They've been in the 360 generation and in the generation.
Right, exactly. So and we're talking about this, and it's like we already know that was probably not actually the case, because how many devs have come out and said, oh, we're not going to put any microtransactions in our game, and then they fucking do it anyways later on, or
not
whatever.
Any that I can think of. But hold on one second, because before it goes away, I want to give UK Daz his spotlight for showing that super chat love. Thank you, my brother. And basically, he said that his message was he is going to destroy me in Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, he says
I've already sent him a couple invites and stuff like that. He hasn't shown up. He said he was going to show up. It was me, Iceman, game down sites. We were all in a lobby together waiting for him, and he just never appeared. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, man. Maybe he had
He got spooked.
It was an emergency or something, probably.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I did find it though. I did find his tweet. He said, "Come on, guys, shitty clickbait headline. Literally seconds before I said that, I made it very clear we're going to do more cosmetic stuff like we did in Borderlands 2. You know what I was talking about: premium currency and loot boxes kind of stuff not being in our game."
Well, Mega, even on the pay to win aspect,
but it's been on Borderlands 2 though. If it was already on Borderlands 2. And there wasn't a problem then because that game got highly rated. It got from IGN and GameSpot and them. It was world renowned. It was, matter of fact, I think it was a 9. And so if those issues wasn't addressed back then, why the hell are they addressing it now?
Because he didn't come out and say.
He didn't come out. He's trying to say that there ain't none and there are. And then he said, "Oh well, it's not that type." Well, my man, just be clear, be transparent with what you're saying. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. But again,
he did get his pants. He got caught with his pants down. That's for sure.
Maybe, but I do also say that the media is still trying to. They're still trying to search and look to get to get that clickbait. And I'm on the side for this. Look, gamers can't get mad about anything that says microtransactions because you know why?
Gamers the funny thing is, I don't think any. That's the funny thing. I don't think any gamers were mad about this. I think it was the media that was mad about it. I didn't hear anybody on Twitter freaking complaining about it. I didn't see anybody at all. Like when it was announced, when people were talking about it, no one was talking about him screwing up and talking about the microtransactions. I mean, maybe you guys saw something, but I didn't
because
see
they thought because he said that sealed the deal that there were no microtransactions.
Yeah, but even when these articles came out, I didn't see nothing from anybody on Twitter saying, "Oh well, he lied to us." I didn't see nothing like that. So, I mean,
that's a pretty good point. But if it's good for one, it's got to be good for the other as well. You know what I'm saying? And even though social media might not be blowing up about that, I mean, it is a thing. If you're gonna say,
yeah, but you would think that social media would blow up about it because of the fact that we've all been touting that that we don't want microtransactions. We want games to just come out complete without all that microtransaction bullshit. So, and I didn't see nobody complaining about it. I just saw people being like, whatever, swept it under the rug and was just like, whatever.
Well, let me read a couple of things that was brought because some of the
K-Mega, school us.
All right. Okay, so he said it's totally forgivable issue, right? Because he still got to kiss the media's ass. That's just a given, right? Mm-hmm. They want to try to sell this game, but he said, but they have to be put on notice with clear evidence of their readers not believing me to be a liar because of the poor choice of words. Game Informer and GI Andy Mac, whatever, can help to clarify or can leave it. Their behavior next define my posture. And then somebody else says, hey, I complimented Randy. He says, you could check my timeline. I feel this issue was spiraled and the consumer confusion isn't from our singular tweet, but from how the information was presented. I feel we have been professional here. I'm sorry you feel otherwise. And then he says, Andy. So I guess this is somebody. This is another person from a game, from a gaming site or whatever. I'm not from a news site or whatever. He says, Andy, this is important to me. Do you believe my intent on stage was to mislead, or do you believe I was being sincere? Do you believe my intent was to lie about cosmetic offers consistent with the game previous Borderlands 2, or was I actually making a pledge against VC and loot boxes, etc.? So I mean, and it goes on, but obviously there's something amiss here. And when the media takes it and they use it, and then he's saying in his spin, or if it coming out of his mouth, I don't know. I didn't get to hear what he had to say, but I can look at it from both different ways. I understand. I definitely agree with Knox. Hey, if you came out and you said, hey, no microtransactions, then you should have clarified that a little bit better But if the media took that and then tried to spin it because they wanted to get clicks, then again, you're hurting this man's game or potential for him to get the sales because you want to you want to make a
Yeah,
headline.
yeah.
So
I don't.
it's crazy.
But
I don't think it's gonna hurt any sales because you know why people people nowadays are gonna
nah,
be like
yeah.
fuck IGN, fuck GameSpot. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube and even casual people, like casual people I talk to, they're like, yeah, I don't even go to IGN or
Look, man,
GameSpot for
Yeah.
anything.
if it was a genuine mistake on his behalf, right? Then he should have been a little more humble about it and just come out and be like, "Hey, look, it was misinterpreted. I didn't mean to imply that there were absolutely no microtransaction. I may have misspoken. There are only cosmetic items that are for real world currency purchase.
Mhm.
That, but only cosmetics, no loot boxes, no this, no that. That is what I mean, cut and dry. Sorry for any confusion. Boom, done deal. But when he goes out there and gets tight, yo, why
Yeah,
you trying to
dude.
shit on? Why you trying to shit on my name, son? Because you lying, motherfucker.
Yo, for
You
real.
I mean,
lying.
but I think anybody would react to that. Look, I mean, we're starting to see now that there's more developers going out of their way to address the gaming media.
Oh shoot, that
Not
Knox
really-
gameplay going on right now. My bad.
yeah. So I'm really, you know what I'm saying. So obviously, there's some tension going on between some devs and the gaming media because they all know that they have to, in order for them to coexist, both of them, they need each other. But if you're trying to do a spin for this and that, because it's like Don said years ago, big shout out to the bro. He said, look, IGN and them, they're on their last leg because everybody is getting their information from other places. Like people rather go to see or listen to their favorite YouTuber than they would to go listen to IGN or other places like that. So they have to keep the pot rolling. So for when they make these articles and stuff about console war this and console war that, but then yet they still keep throwing that console war shade, they're disingenuous. And finally, we're starting to see PlayStation fans get into their feelings because of the reviews of what's been going on with Days Gone. So
Trying to hit a
it's
segue there, brother.
yeah, kind of, but I'm just saying. So I mean, look, I didn't hear what the guy said. I didn't hear him say anything or whatever. But like I said, I think both sides just need to work it out and hash it out
Yo, some
because the
people
public
don't
needs to
know.
hear it.
Some people don't know when to shut up, and I'll give you that. But when
Right.
when you're calling out your bro Andy and you're calling him out on the spot, like, do you really believe that, or do you believe me? Do you believe that, or do you believe me? A lot of times, that type of action is
Yeah, that's
attributed
somebody
to the
that's got something
person
to
that's
hide.
guilty, man.
Yep.
Like seriously, if you think about it,
You're really trying to sway. You're really trying to persuade me.
exactly.
You're trying to sway my judgment. You know, I
Like-
already when you get the feeling, the gut don't lie, bro. You get that gut feeling that a dude is doing something grimy. There's 85% chance he's doing something grimy, bro.
Yo, Snap said I don't know when to shut up.
It's true, you don't, dude.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, guys, at the end of the day, like if people think that there's a big deal being made, you got to look at both parties here. All right? Because all the dude had to say was my apologies for the misunderstanding. This is what I meant and move on. But we all know our brother Randy over there, he doesn't like to just leave it at that, and he usually keeps going because it keeps the name out there. It keeps his name, it keeps Gearbox, it keeps the game's name kind of like circulating around social media and stuff like that. He is smart for that. But if you wanted it to just be a small deal and that's it, you just had to be like, this is what I meant, and then move on. But he's not doing that. He's calling people out and everything right now, yo. I don't know. But on that note, let's move on. Let's move on to the newest PlayStation exclusive that has dropped within the last couple weeks or so, and that is Days Gone. And we all know Days Gone has gotten mixed reviews when it comes to reviewers. I think IGN gave it like a 5 out of 10. It very, very varied in terms of the review scores, to the point where if you look on Metacritic, it's at about a 72. Now IGN came out with a video called Thumbs Up or Thumbs Down, and when they started this video, it was about Days Gone, and they're like, for all the people who don't like when we look into actual things like like gameplay mechanics and story building, stuff that really makes a game good. He's like, for all you people, we're just gonna thumb up and thumb down random things in the game. And that's basically what they did. And I looked at it as them taking a shot at anybody who was saying that the IGN review score, which was a 5 out of 10, it was a shot at everybody complaining about it.
It was 6.5 out of 10
Oh,
for
6.5?
IGN.
All right, I'm sorry. 6.5 out of 10. That's a 65 right there. Oh my goodness. Oh, the game must not be playable
I
then.
think GameSpot gave them the 5 out of 10, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All
GameSpot
right.
did.
Well, I checked out the video. Video was hilarious, to be really honest with you. I thought it was funny. Has anybody else checked that out? I did put it in the DM. Has anybody checked that out? Great job,
Yeah,
people.
yeah. I watched their little
And K Mega gets a pass, by the way, because I forgot about him. Yeah, I just want to say that.
I watched their podcast that they had about Days
Yeah,
Gone.
that's something different. They tried to apologize. Is that what you're
Yeah.
trying to say?
No, it wasn't that one.
Oh,
It was something else. I don't think it was IGN who apologized. I think it was the GameSpot who was trying to say something about it or something like that. But IGN came. Well, Lucy O'Brien was on the podcast Unlocked or whatever, and she's on there a lot of times, and she was talking about how she didn't think the game was bad, but just in her review it was just like she's just like, it's just my opinion. I was just saying, like, there was things about the game I didn't like. She's like, it was just how I felt about the game, not. And even a lot of the people at IGN felt the same way that she did, so it was just kind of like, whatever. I mean, for a lot of us, I know a lot of us in the community and gamers in general, we don't really technically listen to every single review because of the fact that, a lot of times they do downgrade some games that were like, oh, you know what, we actually like that game or whatever. So I mean, I don't think they were kind of like, I don't know, they were just kind of like, whatever, on the show. At least they were just kind of like, oh yeah, well, we all feel the same way. Well, but they also said that they had different reasons as to why they would have given it a 6.5. Not everybody had the same reason as to why they didn't like certain parts of the game. So like Lucy O'Brien, she came out and said that she didn't like it because of this and this, because she didn't like what was it, it was uh she felt like like the story structure, I guess she didn't like it, and she thought that the voice acting was bad. But then even some of the guys that were on the show were saying, oh, I actually didn't mind the story or the dialogue. I thought that the combat was bad. So it's just different strokes for different folks.
all right. Well, I gotta ask anybody else on the panel, did you check out that video or not? And be honest, because I had something to kind of follow up after it anyway.
I didn't check out the video, but what is it that went down? They tried, like, she was trying to cop plea. Because look, my thing is, if she ain't like it, if she didn't like the game because she didn't like it, you got to find out first, is she a fan of the genre? You know what I'm saying? Has she reviewed other games in that genre and she enjoys playing it? Because if she plays RTS, what the fuck she's doing right in an action adventure game like that? You know what I mean? With stealth and all
Well,
that.
they try to get their employees to get out of their comfort zone and
You can't do that
do
because
that.
the review is not genuine. And I know that it could be biased either way, right? If you're a big fan, then you might give it extra points. I get
Right.
it. But I'd rather have a fan of the genre play it because you could relate to that more. I don't want, if I don't like strategy games, like I just said, right? So I'm not gonna say that this game is whack. I can't say that StarCraft is whack or anything like, because I don't play those. So it wouldn't be fair for me to review that because I don't enjoy that. So she shouldn't be doing that. And was that the same one that it was like they wanted some social justice shit in there?
No, that was the girl from GameSpot. She's had problems in the past with she went off on IGN about sexual harassment and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
she's had problems in the
keep the
past.
bullshit out of gaming. That fuck all that shit. Keep that
Yeah,
shit out.
she's off on her own little tirade right now, and I think she's in her own little world
But
somewhere.
I will say this, right? It's Sony's fault for putting out an unpatched product for them to review early in the first place. Because you know what I mean? They got to deal with that. If they get these low scores, they got to deal with that shit, and that's it. Nobody needs to apologize to Sony for that because it's Sony's fault. So they shouldn't have even made that article in the first place. Sony's fault for putting out a broken game at the time. When I got mine in my hands with the patch, I've been loving it. That shit is beautiful. So that's why I can't agree with those reviews, but that is Sony's fault for giving them an unreviewable and unplayable copy.
That's not the first time a developer has given out reviews for review copies for games without the day one patch in it, and they let them know.
But if they knew that it was that unplayable, that it was going to be such a drastic, because I don't see none of that. All the stuff that they were saying in the reviews, I haven't experienced any of it. I've had audio drop out one time. One time audio did drop out.
So you did experience it one time.
One, but not.
Okay.
I haven't seen any graphical glitches or the game gets stuck.
You haven't seen automatic gate openings? You haven't seen automatic gate openings or anything like that?
Nothing like that. Nothing like that. The game been playing beautifully.
All right. Well, and anybody else check this out? Because if not, like I said, I do have a follow-up here. And I feel like the follow-up might be more interesting than the original story. All right. On that note, we're going to go with the follow-up. All right. There are people out there on social media right now talking about the review scores for Days Gone as, do you see, guys? There is no media bias. They will review the games. They will review the games exactly as they see them. And that's that. So there is no media bias in the video game industry when it comes to the IGN's GameSpots and whatnot. And I thought this was really interesting. I actually have a theory on this, but I am gonna let Predator's been quiet for a while, so let's get Predator in on this. Yo, Pred, dude, media bias. Does the Days Gone review scores show that there is actually no media bias in the video game industry, and anybody who's been claiming that since the beginning of this generation are absolutely wrong?
No, it doesn't prove anything, to be honest with you. I just think they had a bad game and they got a bad score, and you can't use that one metric for that game to be the truth of every single game that's come out this generation, because they've had shitty games too. They've had some really good games, had some really shitty games. You don't really hear about the shitty games. You only hear about the good ones. And I think more of that is because they came with, back-to-back games that were, high quality, had high scores. And I'm not saying they didn't deserve them. The games they got, the scores they got, the high scores that they got, like God of War, stuff like that, those games deserve those scores because they're really, really good games. However, there's been some shitty games out there as well, and it seems like their reviews have gotten a bump just because they came from Sony. And on the flip side of that, I think the bias comes, it's not necessarily saying that they're so biased towards Sony that they give them good review scores. I think they're so biased towards Sony that they purposely give Xbox games bad review scores.
Ooh,
if that makes any sense.
That's a curve right there, man. So
yeah,
you're saying
go ahead.
No, my bad. So you're saying it doesn't really affect the Sony's game scores, but you think it might take a couple points away on Xbox's side when their games come out?
Oh, definitely. We've had some really good games this generation on the Xbox side, and I know they're not everyone's genre. And like Knox was saying, you don't want to get those people out of their comfort zone. You kind of want people who are used to those type of games to play those type of games.
Yeah, they know the most about them.
You wouldn't I wouldn't go to like the one guy that did I'm gonna use this as an example because it's the first one on my mind. The guy that played Forza and gave it like a 40. When I think it was Forza Horizon 3, I think, when it came out, and he gave it like he gave it the worst score out of everybody. That's an anomaly. Like he doesn't play racers. So
yeah,
why
he
are you
said
rating
that.
this game?
Yeah,
he even said that. So why are you reviewing this game? Why would the company, a huge company, I think it was it IGN? Or was it Kotaku?
I think it was Kotaku. I think it was Jim Sterling, actually.
So why would you even raise your hand to play that game or review it? Like, if you know you don't like that game and that's not your genre, and they say, hey, we want you to review Forza, I'd be like, dude, you might want to get, Beetle comment on that instead, because he plays that shit. He knows more about that franchise than I do, and I hate racers. Like don't just play it and then be like, I hated it and I hate racers anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a shitty score. Like, I think I understand what IGN those guys are doing, trying to get them out of their comfort zone. But at the end of the day, you're harming the game because of your score, because you're giving a shitty score. And it, I know that we kind of thought that, okay, people are doing this to get clicks, which may be true. You're that one score out of the 35,000 that are out there. You're that one score that gave it a 4. People are going to go to that website and say, why did they give it a 4? And you're going to generate, revenue off those clicks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but just like, I think what we're all asking for, just media in general, is just to be fair and honest, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
do your job, like report. That's your job as a journalist, is to get the truth and report the truth. And we don't get that this generation. We get these half-assed, articles that don't really give the whole story. It sways the narrative to their side, and they don't put the entire truth out there. They put the half truths out there and then let us speculate on it. Like, why? I think K Mega said this earlier. Like, most people would rather go to YouTubers for information than to go to these big sites, because at least those YouTubers are going to give you the honest truth about how they feel about the game. Oh, the
Mm-hmm.
mechanics suck at this. Like, they give you a really more in-depth detail than what you typically get from some of these news outlets, because, like, again, they have their bias towards it. Like, oh, I'm playing on an Xbox controller. I hate Xbox, so I'm gonna give it a bad score. Like, I wasn't really used to controls on this game. It's too much B button. Like, stupid shit like that. Like that's not the basis of the game. That shouldn't be a knockdown on the game because the B button was being used too much. That's what they do, though. That's what we've had to deal with this whole generation. So I don't think that it's just they're so biased towards the Sony side. I think they're biased against the Xbox side. And that's why we have the biggest issues we have now.
Oh damn, that is definitely interesting. I do have a different theory, but I want to hear by our newly acclaimed Spider-Man fanboy, God of War fanboy, possibly Pony, maybe. Yo, Knox, what do you think about this? Do you think that the review scores for Days Gone show no media bias when it comes to the big gaming media sites out there, man?
I mean, but media bias how? Like they gave us shitty scores, and we know that the game was fucked up. Like they for the most part the scores were pretty much like the same overall from the media guys, right? Like so I'm gonna assume they all got the same broken copy of the game, which they reviewed and it was broke. So if it was broke, then I could understand why they give it a low score. I don't I don't know what I don't see the whole bias shit. I mean, there is media bias. I'm just saying I'm not seeing any of that here. Like, why? Because they wanted to apologize to Sony or something? That's what you mean? They trying to cop plea?
My bad, guys. I had to go turn off the microphone in the living room because I was hearing our show in the living room, and I thought the kids were going crazy. Yeah. Um,
Uh,
my bad. Yeah, it's a live show. Stuff like that does happen. But now, my fatherly instinct has died down a little bit. I'm a little more comfortable. I thought I was gonna have to go out there and round everybody. To be really honest with you.
But
Uh,
I gotta say, bot, I like that border that you got for me, man. It's pretty sick.
You like it? All
Yeah,
right,
it is.
bro. Yeah, as you can see, with Dark Animus coming in and finally putting in that gameplay, we really had to touch it up. So he's got he's got colors that kind of represent Jurassic Park and Iron Man at the same time. I don't know. I thought it would be cool. But
That
so
looks sick.
Knox, you're confused about what people are talking about with media bias?
no. I'm saying pertaining to this issue. What's the media bias pertaining to this issue
Well,
about Days Gone getting a shitty review?
I just feel like there's people out there on social media using the opportunity that anytime anything came up in terms of media bias throughout this generation, of course they would definitely say no and everything. I feel like they're using this opportunity to be like, see, they judge everything absolutely fairly, and they're even giving lower scores to Days Gone. Now, I know,
No.
Knox, you said you've been playing and enjoying the game. You say you don't see like 99% of the things that they're talking about just doesn't happen with you in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously something happened somewhere to give this game lower scores to other reviewers. Do you think that this shows that they do look at these games and these gaming platforms fairly, and that there's not necessarily media bias out there.
Look, bro, when it came to the whole 1080p, 900p thing, there was definitely media bias there. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, dude.
About that, there's no doubt. With this particular issue, I don't see the media bias here. I think that they reviewed a bad copy of the game. The shit got out. Sony got to deal with it. And that's the end of that. Gamers have spoken and said, yo, the game is dope. Forget about the reviews. You don't see that happen. That didn't happen for Rise. Even though I'm one of the people that I say,
And
yo,
it
Rise
should
was
have.
fucking,
It should have happened.
happened. Yes. I said Rise was fucking dope. I don't see these 6.5s. I don't get it. Now, there wasn't an excuse like they reviewed a broken copy. You know what I'm saying? It just was what it was. But the media bias did contribute to that game. It's just people just didn't like it because the media said it wasn't any good. And I don't understand. All of a sudden, they didn't like, quick time events or nothing like that. All of a sudden, that's bad. I loved them then, and I love them all in Spider-Man. They're all over motherfucking Spider-Man. They're fantastic. They're fantastic in Rise, and they're fantastic in Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So that should be all bullshit, bro. You know, at the end of the day, you just like what you like, and that's it. Forget what the media says. You go to people that you could like that have your same interests and have your same, tastes in games, and like us out here. You know what I mean? You get a more genuine opinion from YouTubers like us and shit than you will from the media, because they trying to conform to everyone, and that shit is just impossible, bro. It can't be done.
Well, yeah, like I mean, at the end of the day, I believe everybody has a preferred platform, even if they play on all the platforms. There's always that certain platform that you kind of lean to or you go to more if you have more friends on that platform. Even if you like the exclusives better, or if you like the layout, you like the online functionality, there's always something that will make you lean more one way or the other. And I know, Knox, I know you might think that I am a little one-sided with my name being Xbot, but there were games that I enjoyed on my PS4. It just wasn't the games that everybody.
Did you though, Bot?
Dude, God of War 3 Remastered was a great game. All right. Ratchet and
Game you
Clank.
could have played on the PS3.
Ratchet and Clank is a great game.
A game you could have played on the PS2.
I know, but what they did with redoing the graphics and everything, I can't play that old one now. It just wouldn't.
That is true.
It wouldn't feel the same. Resogun was a great game. It was a lot of fun. A game called Disc Jam was a great game. I had a lot of fun with that. And Gang Beasts was a lot of fun as well. Although Gang Beasts is now on Xbox, and I actually have more people I can play that with on the Xbox platform because I have more friends on the Xbox platform. But with that being said, K Mega, I don't know if you have been waiting, chomping at the bit to get in on this, but what do you think with the Days Gone review scores and it not being 85 or greater? People are pointing to that and saying that there's no gaming media bias at all, and people are just making that stuff up. Do you think that's true or not?
No, I mean there has been media bias. That's to me, it's just that Sony came out with a game that had plenty of time to be better, and it just wasn't, and they just got caught with their pants down. The fact of it is that I've kept this same energy. I'm not going to change it. I'm just like, look, fuck a review. If you like the game, get it. Who cares about what somebody else's opinion is? I give two shits about a Metacritic score. You can tell me 45 people, 2,000 people. That is still
it's
not
you
me.
though.
That's not Kareem. I'm not caring about no damn about what Knox feel about that game. You know what I'm saying? I got love for Knox. No. I'm just saying in a sense of
you're supposed to be like that. You're supposed
like if you really love something, if you really enjoyed that game, right? Like, but I'm with you with the Spider-Man thing, and then like I'm not the biggest fan of The Last of Us, but everybody else out there that loves it and thinks that it's great. That's great. I'm never mad
for you guys.
I'm happy for you for liking that game. But don't get mad at me because I like Sea of Thieves and say because of somebody else's review and you ain't really gave that game an opportunity to see if you liked it or not. Then tell me that the Kraken is lacking. That shit to me is funny. So how I look at it is that
I live with that to this day.
Nah,
by the
but
way,
listen,
man.
my thing is this. My thing is this. Nobody could tell you what you like or don't like. You know what I mean? Just like nobody could tell me what I like and don't like.
Knox,
But
you know how
what
this situation has
No,
been.
I get it. But what people people do, I get it, Meg. I really do. But at the same time, we gotta be honest. It's like I said, is Crackdown 3 a quality title? In my opinion, of course, no. But did I have fun with it when I played for a little bit with my boy Beast? Yes.
Yeah, but see that to me that's a contradiction, because if a game is not a good quality game, how do you have fun
Then
with
it's
it?
gonna suck.
I have the quality.
Hold on, don't start
The,
again.
the quality is not up to par with me. The city felt barren. It felt empty. There was nothing going on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Yes,
so
some of the
that's
shooting,
about the city, but the game,
the
but the
shooting.
game, but you had fun still.
I had some fun
Okay,
shooting
I
at
mean,
the enemies.
it's like a contradiction to me.
I can't pick it up though. This is what I'm saying though, Mega. I can't. For that little bit of time that I played with my boy Beast, it was cool.
Okay.
But there was nothing about it that drew me back. There's nothing that I said, you know what? I enjoyed that so much with my boy that I'm gonna try a dolo and play it. Nah, it didn't. I was like, I don't really want to play that, man. I'll leave that for whenever Beast want to play.
Okay, well, that's fine. But see, that's again.
Well, that's like
opinion.
I said, that it is.
Yeah, that's your opinion compared to what I'm saying about how I enjoyed the story. I thought the game was really fun. The controls were right. And see, look, you looked at the aspect of the world and everything else around it, and that was a letdown for you. I gave two shits about the world in the sense of how atmospheric that it looked. It was all about gameplay, the enemies that I fought, the music. Those things.
Well,
to
I
me,
mean, for me, that's part of the immersion.
Was it a low score that did that low score? The question is with Crackdown, was it warranted to have that the low score that it did?
What score did it get?
It got what, like a 68 or something like that,
No,
or
it was
something?
like a 59, man. What are you talking about?
59, yeah, like a 59.
Listen, I'd have to really play it in order to do something like
how
that.
you gonna give an opinion if you ain't really played it though, Knox?
I didn't like what I played. Is what it didn't catch me. It didn't
That's
catch
fine.
me.
Okay, all right. There's some. Let me make a point on this. Hold on. Let me make a point on this. You had your turn. Now this is the point that somebody said, and this was on GRG a while back, years ago, a couple of years ago, and they hated Recore. Recore sucked. Recore was trash. Recore was this, and I'm not mad about if that person did not like Recore. That's fine, but you can't give me 15 to 40 minutes of gameplay to tell me that game is trash for everybody. It can be trash for you.
Well, every opinion is only for you.
I understand that, but people's been holding these reviews and these Metacritic scores and user scores,
well,
and it's holding up as gold
if they come
for their narrative for fanboyism.
That's
That's why I say that shit should be eradicated right off the bat. And now you can't, you know what I'm saying? Now you had PlayStation fans get to the same shit that I used to say, is that, look, don't worry about what somebody else thinks about the damn game. You just enjoy what you want to enjoy. Look, for Xbox fans that went after Days Gone because it was buggy and it was bad and it was all that. Like, look, this is the thing. Don't fall to those levels. No. You make yourself look just as bad as those fools that was trying to talk about what somebody.
If you do the same things that you voice over as something that's wrong with the industry, you become just as bad as the people you were speaking against.
Exactly. So, yeah, is there media bias? Absolutely. Look, I've said this and I'll say it again. The media has been hard pressed to make sure that multiplayer games don't get the same fair share as single player games, because there's just been this movement throughout this industry to where they want to where they're trying to shrink the single player games. And so the media is like, no, hell no. We got to support, because we want single player games and they're important. Now, how gamers feel about that is their opinion on that. But there is no question that when you look at the ratings between a single player game and multiplayer games, and it's been really evident this year when you look at how a certain single player game gets a higher score than some of these other multiplayer games.
Do you have any examples on that, brother?
Okay, I mean, just look at Anthem, Jump Force, Crackdown, shit, the list go on. I mean, the Division was the only game that got a decent score while other single player games.
Well, that's because that
9
game
10.
was a lot more superior.
I was gonna
game
say a
than
lot of
the
people
other
argue
ones.
that was the superior game out of all those.
I understand that, but look at how they're going after Mortal Kombat compared to what they did with.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah.
So what you're saying, that they give single player games higher scores than multiplayer games?
If they've been going all in with this whole narrative, if they've been making a point that single player games are important or are important, that's
I
why they
agree
went
with
after
that. I agree with that.
they've been doing it. It's evident. All you got to do is read articles and look at this, and then just look at the scores when you look at single player games compared to multiplayer games. Anthem, no, it was Anthem a mess for people when it first came out? Yes, it was,
And it still is now for lack of content, brother.
I don't know. The content seems to. I don't know. I played about 80 hours into the game. I love it. Is it the best? Is it the best? No. But I mean, me and Delilah and El Boogie was well, not Delilah, not El Boogie, but Delilah and Infamous. I sit there and express myself because they were over there dogging out the game. They were dogging out Anthem, and I'm like, look, Anthem is dope. It has great potential, and it does need, but it's no different than fucking Division 1. Division 1, once you got past the story and you beat that, it was dead. And then everybody's like, oh, there ain't gonna be another
but
Division.
I think the Division had a little more than Anthem.
Well, Division didn't have, like, they're definitely different.
Their DLC didn't come for months, bro.
Because Anthem, they even pushed back kind of like their roadmap and stuff like that. Right. And Division doesn't have that dark cloud called EA hanging over them.
Everybody knows that Anthem is dope. At least I think Anthem is dope. Did it come out unfinished?
Yes.
Yes. Is that fucked up? Yes. That's all I'm saying. You gotta look. The State of Decay come out buggy. It got the score that it got, right? All I'm saying is it got the score that it got because it came out in the condition that it came out. Same thing for Crackdown. It don't mean you can't have fun.
Hold on, but why is the media giving the apology speech? Because I didn't
shouldn't. I just sat here. That's what I'm saying. I just sat here.
I don't know. I didn't even hear it. This is what got
they shouldn't sit here and be cop and plea apologizing to Sony. They don't need to
what
apologize.
The fuck you apologizing?
No, they don't need to apologize.
These videos for it when you just let State of Decay just get destroyed, and it deservedly need to get destroyed but it needed a patch just like Days Gone did. The one difference between both of those games is that one game is an online game, and the other one is a single player. So to me, it looks worse for when you have a single player game that has that many bugs. You got to put that big of a patch into it. You can't even have multiplayer horde mode. And I mean, or something like that.
But that's
but
to its credit,
delayed.
Nah, but to its credit,
hold on. My last point. So why is it that Days Gone didn't get the same treatment as Crackdown 3? Because that game just got delayed a hell of a lot of times. And
they're different games, though. Too.
Because one is single player and one is multiplayer, right?
Brother. At the end of the day, I don't think that. I think this. Hold on, yo, Mega. Just real quick, this is what I feel has happened this generation, and I feel like a lot of it has to do with eye candy. All right, Crackdown looks good for what it is, for the art style it is. It looks phenomenal for that art style. But when you look at Days Gone and you put it next to Crackdown, I can almost say 9 people out of 10 are going to say that Days Gone looks a lot better.
Well,
I feel like a lot of judgment this generation has definitely come from eye candy.
Of course. That goes hand in hand with gaming. Whoever says they don't like graphics in a game is bullshitting. That's the reason. That is one of the most appealing parts of the game. It all matters. Visuals matter. Frame rate matters. Performance matters. All of it matters.
Bro, I played PUBG. I played Gang Beasts. Like I said, I played Resogun last generation. I played Fancy Pants Adventure, stuff like that. Yo, to me, you don't need those ultra realistics, like absolutely great.
But you still want those games that you're playing to look good. I'm not saying that game has to be on the same level.
In that aspect, though, Crackdown does look good. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there. Crackdown does look good.
If you put Crackdown in with its peers, it is probably the most inferior version in its genre. And it's AAA because it's supposed to be a AAA title. If you put it against like a Grand Theft or a Red Dead big open world games. That shit is just, come on, bro. It's not doing anything. It can't mess with those games, dude. On a graphical level or on a control level, it's good for what it's good for.
Control
Mindless
level,
fun.
control in gameplay level, I will definitely disagree with you on, man. I will.
I mean that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? But
Fantastic.
I'm just saying
Right.
it is the inferior visually looking version right there.
Yeah, but
in
to
everything,
me,
in
to
everything.
me, that never meant
Ambiance.
everything. Yeah.
I mean,
It doesn't mean everything. I'm not saying it does.
Graphics matter. I mean, because that's what you bought a machine for. You bought if you bought an X or you bought a Pro, you do want to see games look the best.
Yeah. Fuck about a $2,400 TV for.
People are very
some hot shit.
But Knox, people are very selective because still to this day, Rise still holds up to every other game that's came out.
I will agree with you on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know what? But what was and even with you say about the haze or whatever with Quantum Break, those games still hold.
I enjoyed the shit out of Quantum Break.
I know, but
that shit was dope.
Though those games graphically still holds up to any other game that's been out here even now.
It does.
And what was the thing? Resolution. That it wasn't 1080p.
See, that shit is on.
And that's what, as you said this earlier, the media used that as a ploy, and then fanboys ran with it.
Yeah,
so
it was nonsense then, and it's still nonsense now.
It absolutely is. But that's the thing to me is that look, this is my biggest case in point overall, and then we can move on to the next topic, or if somebody else wants to jump on it. But
I do got to book it though, fellas.
I don't even remember what the topic was because you guys went off on some other rant about something else.
Well, it's basically all tied in together.
It's not called the rant. It's called a healthy discussion.
It was not. That was not a healthy discussion when Mega's going off on Knox like that.
Going off on Knox.
He ain't going to. Nah, I ain't take it like that at all. He ain't going
off to Knox. I'm not going off Knox at all.
Look, Mega's arguing his part. I'm arguing mine.
Yeah, look at God of War. The God of War remaster, and then and look at the score that it got, and then look at the Ultimate Gears and look at the score that it got because it was too much A button.
The Ultimate Gears was dope.
But
you really liked that game though, right? Because it had a lot of A button mashing.
What was the score? If you remember,
they gave God of War a remaster. A remaster really didn't have it didn't really have those true remaster graphics or nothing like that. It was just pretty much a port.
Yeah, I passed on that. I know the one. I passed on that.
God of War 3 always looked fantastic, but that, you know what I'm saying, that game looked good. It had a little polish, but they gave that a higher score than they did Ultimate Gears when they actually remastered Ultimate Gears.
Nah, see, but that's ridiculous.
And that's what I'm saying. So why would anybody want to keep on trying to rely on what the media says in regards to a game? If you like the game, enjoy the game. If you're hyped for Days Gone and you think that game is your favorite game, scream it out loud. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Let's stop using other people's opinion as facts because that's not how I look.
Here's the deal. If you like the game and you enjoy the game, share it out there. Put out game clips. Let everybody know how much you're having fun.
That's right, baby. And get on that pony, son.
But check this out. Don't all of a sudden attack
my
somebody.
Bad, brother, but I gotta be out.
All right. Yo, Knox, thank you again, my brother. Next podcast family, he has to dub out. He's got family coming in, so you know the drill.
All right, yo, fellas, it was awesome, man. Good shit, man. Pat, good shit. Chat, good shit.
Later, Knox.
Nice. But yo, you can share out like what you're having fun with, all that good stuff. But don't say come and attack me when I'm writing about how much fun I'm having in a game like Sea of Thieves. All right. Yo.
Yeah. You see a lot of that stuff when that happens. It's usually not real gamers. As you notice, like a lot of the times, it's like these fake accounts. Sometimes a lot of the times.
Into it too deeply, man, because
but then there are those ones like some people. I'm not gonna name names, but there are some people in the in the gaming community, I should say, that do attack people for what they like, and I don't agree with that. I think that's bullshit because like we should be able to like what we want and not have to worry about somebody fucking telling us that we're fucking losers for liking that game. It's like, well, tell me why. why you feel the way you feel about the game. And then when they come back and they say, "Oh, well, it was because
It's trash.
because because it's trash, or because this person said it was this or whatever." It's like, so you're telling me you're basing your opinion on somebody else's opinion. Okay, that makes sense.
Dude, I think Mega just stuck that spear right up the lion's.
He did.
Yeah.
Big shout out to my little bobcat that's out there banging with that big ass lion, man. Big shout out to him because he saved my ass a couple of times when that big lion knocked me down. Big shout out to the little bobcat, man, helping me out.
Well, guys, on that note, I did create the segue. Let's get into the anniversary update for Sea of Thieves. And I will let you know, guys, I've gone in, I started the whole Tall Tales, which they are going to put more Tall Tales in over time. I haven't beaten it yet. I haven't made it to the Shores of Gold. I want to so badly. Bad enough that I might even end up playing the game right after the show today. How many people on the panel have gotten into Sea of Thieves, the anniversary update? Anybody play it?
Game's trash.
What?
I'm just playing.
Fred?
I
Oh
haven't
my
played it though.
goodness.
I'll agree with that, Pred. I'm just saying.
I haven't played it. I haven't picked up Sea of Thieves. Well, I probably should pick it up tonight, but I've been playing Nier Automata. So I might get onto it
A
tonight.
much more superior game. All right.
My kids are yelling. Hold on.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no,
Yeah, they're crazy right now. Yeah. But so I'm the only one who's actually played it. All right, that's gonna switch up my questioning here in terms of the topic. Then now, Pred, have you heard or have you talked to anybody who's been playing the game?
No, because the only people I see playing it are you and the Four Guys Recorders and guys, and that's it. So, I honestly, I mean, I know there's a nice little following of some of my friends on the friends list that play it, but I really have not been able to game as much as I wanted to this week. But I haven't really heard much about it other than what's been kind of popping off on media, on just from Twitter and stuff like that. I see people playing it, but I haven't actually had any conversation with them about how the gameplay goes.
Yo, Antonio Alcea says, IGN just said, Pred, we have a job for you now. Yeah. Since you haven't played it, you must review the anniversary update.
Yeah, right.
I
mean, I could see, because I remember when I played Sea of Thieves, when it first came out and I was in the beta and stuff like that, like there was this wall you would hit where it just seemed like you're just doing the same thing over and over again. Go on this boat, pick up this chest, bring it back here, turn it in, get another map, go do the same thing, rinse and repeat. And that got boring to me, and that's why I kind of pulled away from it. I mean, it's a nice looking game for what it is, but I know they've added more content to it, and so maybe this will be the one that brings me in. But I know they have like a story mode now and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
the Tall Tales, man.
But to me, it's like all of that should have been there in the beginning.
So I mean, it's not a better late than never in your opinion.
And that's the thing, when you do stuff like this, when you and I know there's a lot of people probably playing this game right now versus some of those single player games like God of War, right? This game came out a month before God of War and people are still playing it, so it's got some lifeblood in it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do something like that and you kind of pull your fan base away for a while, and you're hoping they come back for the DLC or for the new content or whatever, but you lose a small portion of that fan base because some people are like me, I'm not going to go back to it. Versus, if they continuously update it like in a speedy process, not like 6 months here, 4 months there, like you got to have consistent when you have these online games like this, like whether it's the Division or Destiny or Anthem, like when you take a long break without giving us any new content, or at least something to keep us entertained in between the content, people just kind of stray off and they don't come back to it because they don't feel like doing all that shit again. Or their score is below what everybody else is, like in like the Division. Like, you leave for a while, you come back 2 weeks later and people like are so high you can't even play with them anymore. Like that's like, here's a perfect example, Anthem, right? So they're about to take a little hiatus for a couple of months and try and fix this game. How many people are going to go back to that? How many people actually went back to play this DLC that just came out? The new strike.
The one stronghold.
Yeah, like how many people actually went back and then did it?
I did.
I did it once, and
Yeah.
that's it. And I'm like, okay, it's more the same. But like, am I gonna go back when they decide to fix this game? Fucking 6-8 months from now? Probably not. Probably won't. And if I do, I won't be as invested into it as I was when I first got it. When I was playing it every day, grinding on it. And I think Sea of Thieves has it'll pop up again. People will start playing it again for a couple of weeks, and then it just die off again like it did before.
Dude, this update has gotten a lot of people hyped up. There's definitely a rejuvenation going on right now. I will say, shout out to Board Game Renegade hitting up that super chat one more time. Thank you again, brother. He said he has over 1,000 hours on Sea of Thieves and 1,000 more to come, especially now with the new content. For people who don't know, two main things in this content, and then a bunch of smaller things. But the two main things, they brought in an arena mode, which is a 24-minute mode. I think it's 5 ships put in the same map, and you have to get as much treasure, as much silver as possible in those 24 minutes. You can battle each other. Every time you sink a ship, it costs that ship 1,000 silver. So it's kind of almost like a pirate ship battle royale type thing is going on with arena mode. And then they have the story mode, which is called Tall Tales. Golden Shores is the first Tall Tale that they came out with, and I gotta say, an interesting dynamic with bringing these out at the same time is now if you go in for the story, you don't deal with the same amount of griefers and trolls that you would have normally dealt with because they're all in arena. Like they're all in arenas sinking each other and stuff like that. So you have it's a better experience like all around going into the real world and getting into the story. The story has unique traps, has unique missions, all to get to the shores of gold, which is an island that's basically off the map, and you have to.
I will say this: like one of the reasons why I kind of stepped away from it too was because we kept getting teamed up with PC guys, and they were fucking just destroying us, and that kind of took away some of. I don't know if they took out that crossplay feature or not. I know
you
they
can shut it off. You can
shut it off now.
Yeah.
Like when we played, man, it just seemed like there were too many people cheating in there. Like they're sinking us with one fucking shot, and
Hey, Pred, what game is this, dude?
This is Pray for the Gods.
That looks sick, dude.
That's the real penis demon right there that I'm on right there.
There it is. That's the origin story of the penis demon right there in the game.
Started. Yep, that's it.
Is this only on PC or?
Yeah, it's a Steam. What is it? The preview program.
Oh yeah.
It looks like a game. I just can't put my finger on it.
It looks like
a
Shadow
mixture of Shadow Colossus and
Shadow Colossus
and Zelda.
Zelda,
It kind of
yeah.
looks like Zelda. Yeah.
All right. Well, Mega, I know we tried to get you in on Sea of Thieves. We tried to get you in. When I'm on the ship, it's no longer the Republican. It's the USS Bipartisan.
Oh no, I like wearing my Obama shoes on my Hillary t-shirt. So I mean, what I'm saying? So it's all good. But yeah, no, okay, the bipartisan, that's cool. Whatever.
All right, but dude, because I know you're gonna get into it. Are you excited for this? Do you think what do you think this update is gonna bring to the table for the game, man?
Oh no, it's just like what it's something similar to what Pred said was that look, man, this game is still being played even when it came out a month before God of War came out. I've said that a lot of supporters for Sea of Thieves and State of Decay, these games, this is what Xbox's vision is with these type of games. Now, do they need to look visually better? Now, Sea of Thieves look gorgeous. You have HDR. You see that, and I think now, Bot, since you now have a 4K television and you get to see...
Dude, the HDR in this game is incredible.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, my goodness.
You can talk about cartoon graphics all you want to, but that game is absolutely beautiful. Now the character models is cheesy, wonky looking, but you're looking at it
They're
from a
rare though.
first person. Yeah, but it's a first person view, so you're not really seeing the characters unless you see the other people playing. But the all around atmosphere and the water and all that stuff, that water though, man, that game is absolutely beautiful. And so I'm happy that the game still has a lot of legs. I do agree with Fred and others out there that said that they should have had more content come out earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They took a little bit while long on it, but no, I'm absolutely excited about it. I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to get through Assassin's Creed, and then I'm back on to Sea of Thieves and Mortal Kombat. I mean, I'm very excited for it. So the harpoon, the
Dude,
story
yo, you
mode.
can harpoon your crew members and get them back onto your ship.
Yeah,
Yes, but can I eat a coconut yet?
yeah, I heard you could. I heard you could fish, all that stuff. Like, I mean, it's and also like when I jump in, when me, Blades, and Don come in, and whoever else is usually the extra person to come in. When we get in there, man, we have so much fun because when we're looking for the treasure, it's like
You can't
it's
get
just like
anything done with the Don though. Let's be honest, dude. You
no,
can't
Don's a fool, man. He's
get...
wild. Like he'll just jump in the cannon and just go somewhere, and he's like, I'm not stopping, Don. Go ahead, I'll meet up with you. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And we'll come back around because I usually am the one that navigates the ship. So you know what I'm saying. So it is, and Blades is the one that always reads the map for the most part. So and Don just goes discover stuff. So we have a great time, and then of course with the random stuff with the ghost ships and then the sharks. I'm really looking forward to it, man. And then before I stopped playing for a while was when they started adding the other cannonballs, the different variations of cannonballs. So that is also a good added strategy when you're going against other ships or just shooting at ghost ships as well. So the one thing that I still think that the game lacks overall, and hopefully that they'll bring it in, is a more human element, a human enemy, or a different type of enemy other than the skulls. Now, so hopefully that maybe the story mode might add a little bit different. If it doesn't, that's cool. But I think that the game is going to, I know the game is going to progress over time. This game, when it first was launched, was not intended to be like that. These type of MMO type of games, they start off like this. I mean, just like with Black Desert, all these other games like that. I guess the biggest case in point would be Warframe. How Warframe was at launch, and now what Warframe is now. That's how Sea of Thieves is going to come up to be. It's going to be almost on the scale of Atlas by the time that they stop doing any
they
of the
did
work.
say Rare came out and said that when it comes to like year 2, they don't see such a big content drop, like doing a second year anniversary with a big content drop, but they are saying that throughout year 2, they are going to give, smaller chunks of content throughout the year or whatnot that would kind of like equal out to it. So, for people who said that they've been waiting for so long and stuff and are getting into the game now, this year coming up, as they're dropping content, which they have done, but they were really small bits of content, moving forward until this big one, this anniversary one. But year 2, they're gonna add, kind of like medium chunks of content all like throughout the year that would add up to a bigger content drop if they did it all at once.
Right,
So,
and then also just look. I mean, like, yeah, it's unfortunate that Pred is not there yet. Trying to go back, but Sea of Thieves is also got another player because I ain't never see you play Sea of Thieves, and now I see you playing Sea of Thieves, and now you streaming it. So obviously, what it's brought to the table is brought in another fan base, and now all Sea of Thieves needs to do now is bring in players like Pred to come back and give it a shot with the content it needs. What's that?
Once we get coconuts in there, I'll come back.
Once you get what?
Coconuts. I'm tired of eating bananas.
We have
Oh.
coconuts, dude. There are coconuts in the game.
Are they now? Yes.
Yes.
I'm there.
There's coconuts. There's mangoes. You can
You're
fish, and you can cook fish for food. You can cook the pigs as well. The chicken. If you take out the kraken or the megalodon, you can jump into the water and get megalodon meat. You can get kraken meat. If you cook it right, you actually get added perks when you eat it. there's a whole bunch of stuff, guys. It is like Sea of Thieves that you have known, but on steroids and with a story. I highly
Yeah,
suggest
man, I want that Kraken. I want that Kraken is lacking meat. That's what I want.
it.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm back to my Sea of Thieves here. So
It is really fun. Yo, huge shout out to everybody in the chat. We've been flirting with 100. If you guys are enjoying the show, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button. Share this out on social media. Let people know that we are talking games tonight, right here. Of course, with an all-star lineup. Yo, Dark, did you have anything that you wanted to throw in about the anniversary update? Now, I know you said you didn't get in to try it yet, but you said that after talking with me for a little while, you're thinking about throwing in some money for Game Pass, right?
Well, I mean, it's 3 months for $1 right now, so I mean, why not? Try it out. But I don't know. I don't I just never got into Sea of Thieves, man. Like it was just not, even when I got into the beta and even the alpha stages and stuff, it was just not my type of game. I saw a lot of people who were like, "Dude, I love this game." And I was like, "That's fine, dude. I'm more power to you for like loving that game,
Mm-hmm.
You like what you like." But for me, it was never something that I gravitated towards. I mean, I played with K Mega and the Dawn a couple times and Blades out there, and we played a couple times, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go play Sea of Thieves with my buddies this weekend or whatever. It just never grabbed me enough to where I wanted to play it more and more.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, from what I'm hearing from the new DLC or whatever, it sounds cool. Like, I mean, it's great that they added the storyline to it and they added more, that arena mode. That's cool and stuff like that. But it is it enough for me to actually go back and play
Dude,
it?
a pirate thing it might just not be your cup of tea, man. But like you said, three
But
months
that's the
for
thing.
$1.
I like pirate games though. Like
Do you
I
like
liked
cartoony pirate games though?
no, but I liked
There you go.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I mean, I consider that more of a pirate game than I do it being an Assassin's Creed game.
Okay.
Um, I liked I even liked the Pirates of the Caribbean games that were back on the 360. Like I like those ones. Those ones were, even though they weren't the greatest and they were movie licensed titles, they were still, pretty decent for, a pirate game or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um I don't know what it is about Sea of Thieves. It's just it doesn't pull me in and make me want to play it.
Yo, Dark, I can see you, like, if you do put that dollar down for 3 months, I can see you, like, out on the ocean fishing for, like, different fish and stuff like that. I can see you getting into that, brother. I really can, because there's different bait. You have to fish at different times, at
See,
different
I don't really
regions.
get into fishing
I,
in games
I
though.
don't know. I don't know, bro. I can
Dude,
see it.
I played Far Cry 5, never did any of the fishing in it. Even though you can, I never did it
Well, in Far
because
Cry
I just
5,
don't
you
like
couldn't
that.
fish because people were constantly rolling up and shooting you while you were fishing. Like,
That is true, yeah.
dude,
Um,
not a fun thing right there. Yo, huge shout out to Board Game Renegade again, hitting up that super chat. He says, "Let's play Sea of Thieves." He's like, "Panel, my gamer tag is Son of Yoda. Add me." You know what? Send me a message on Xbox Live. Of course, my gamer tag is Xbox448, and I will definitely add you. But you gotta send me
well,
that message, man.
that's because Bot is too lazy to add you, so he's basically telling you to do all the work.
Just send me a message. Say hi. Is that too much to ask? Like, really?
It is a lot to ask, man, because he's asking you to add him.
I will if he just does that one thing for me.
I mean, how hard is it to just take a snapshot of what he just sent you
I already
and
blew by
apply
it.
it to
I
you?
already blew by it. Yo, V, what is up, my brother? I seen you in the chat. Do not listen to Dark. I've been watching the chat, but I'm not going to interrupt the panel all the time.
Well,
But
you don't
Dark's
watch
rude. Dark's rude, and
you.
he will. So, uh, guys, let's move on here. Let's talk about rumored studio acquisitions, and I think this is something. Mega, a couple days ago, me and you were in a thread on Twitter
Mhm.
about one of the studios. I definitely remember that. The rumor is IO Interactive, Relic Entertainment, and Crytek. Yes, guys, I said it right. Crytek. These are the rumors. It hasn't been the first time with these studios. I can definitely see Relic with Microsoft and Xbox's love for Warhammer. I can definitely see them being
Age of
interested.
Empires.
Age of Empires, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a connection there. IO Interactive. I mean, we saw what was going on with the Hitman franchise and how that almost like didn't happen moving forward. So I can definitely see that. Crytek, I think, is the biggest question here. And I know there's a lot of people that are really opinionated out there on social media. Guess what? I got a few of them that come here every Saturday. The panel. So let me start with the businessman on the panel, and that would be Predator. Predator, what do you think about these rumors? IO Interactive, Relic, and Crytek. Do you think that these are studios that can definitely be acquired by Xbox? Do you think they're looking into it? Do you think they have done it already and they're just waiting to announce it? What are your thoughts, man?
Oh, man, I don't know, man. Like anytime I hear about studio acquisitions, I think about like not just because we're only looking at one side of it. Like Microsoft's going to drop, a couple billion down and buy this company, but how deep in the hole is these companies that they're purchasing? You know what I'm saying? So like, I know Crytek makes sense to me. I think it's a better investment, mainly not just because of the Cry engine, because they have some pretty decent franchises over there. Not saying like IO and Relic don't. I think for the PC side with Warhammer, I don't think I've actually ever seen Warhammer's not on consoles, is it?
Yeah, there's different variations of Warhammer, not the actual PC.
Yeah. I think that makes sense if I'm just looking at the franchises as a whole for every company listed. I'm not sure about IO. I know they have Hitman, but what else do they have under their belt? Um, can
That's a
someone help
really
me out?
good question. I'm trying to think right off the top of
They,
my head.
I think they only have like a smaller indie title, and that's
Yeah, and
about
if they're like buying them to like get you know the Hitman franchise, just buy the Hitman franchise. Like I mean it'd probably be cheaper, but I mean, if they're just getting them to have something for Game
They have Kane and Lynch. Sorry, Brett. They got
Yeah.
Kane and Lynch. They got Mini Ninjas. And then a game called Freedom Fighters. They had
Oh, they did Freedom Fighters?
they got Freedom Fighters.
Dude, I love that game, man.
Never
Oh
played.
my goodness.
Never played.
Yeah, but like out of those games you listed, the biggest one is obviously Hitman. That's the one.
Freedom
Right.
Fighters.
No,
Oh,
Kane and
man.
Lynch is dope though.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad game. I
Yeah.
just don't remember too much about it. It wasn't like a headliner, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think with Crytek, if they could get Crytek, that would be a much bigger deal to me because I love the Crisis franchise. And then hopefully we can bring back, Rise from the Rome, another game we've been kind of begging for a sequel for. But with specifically Crytek, I remember like about 2 years ago, they were like, they closed down like 2 or 3 of their studios, kind of consolidated everything. They weren't paying their employees, and they were just trying to keep their heads above water. And I know they have Hunt Showdown too. So to me, that's a much better pickup than even if they only got one, I'd want it to be Crytek. Um, Relic, yeah, Warhammer is huge. IO, I'm not so keen on right now at this point. I just have to see. But Microsoft, like we hear these rumors last year, and they ended up picking up something that we weren't expecting.
Ninja Theory was a mic drop right there. I was like, holy crap, yeah. Mega, check out that fire gameplay, by the way. I'm just putting it out there, man. Just saying.
So I'm hoping that at least 2 of these rumors are true, specifically the Crytek one, and they have something else under their, behind the scenes they're working that we don't know about.
Pred, we talked about this. I believe it was on Wednesday. I think it was on Xbox Nation. And dude, I gotta stick to my guns here. Like when we're talking about Crytek, you're talking about a full game development engine when it comes to the Cry engine. That alone, even though there are smaller titles using it right now, that alone I think runs up the price of that studio a lot more than just your everyday common like game development studio. And I am kind of like sitting in that wait and see area of the arena because I'm not sure if they're going to spend the amount of
That kind
money that could definitely that that price tag for that studio with having that engine. That is a lot of dough. No matter if the
Well,
game engine is crappy, it would still be a lot more money than a regular development studio.
you're just focused on the engine. I mean, so if
Because
they're getting,
that is the different
well, no, no,
aspect
no,
in
they're
other
picking up
studios.
or other franchises that, like, you're getting the Rise franchise, you're getting the Hunt Showdown, you're getting the Cry engine, you're getting Crisis. You're
Well,
getting.
you might not be getting Hunt Showdown. Is that published by Crytek?
I think so.
Because they license out the Cry engine and different developers and different publishers, use the engine to make the game. So I don't know unless you tell me like that's being published by Crytek, it can
Yeah,
definitely
it
have
is
a
published
different
by
publisher.
Crytek, and it's
Huh?
also coming to game preview,
Yeah.
but it is published by Crytek.
Oh, it is? All right. So that would be a possibility for a franchise.
Right now, it's listed as only being on um, Windows, obviously Steam, and Xbox One.
Hey, yo, shout out to Christopher Hart. He finally made the show. Dude, I didn't see you in here like all freaking night, man. Where have you been? Um, I don't like I said, I am not gonna just like fully kind of jump on in and be like, yeah, this will be huge and stuff like that. I'm looking at the price tag on these, and I'm like, would Microsoft and Xbox kind of like pull the trigger on such a heavy investment?
Depends on the price tag because they bought Minecraft for how much?
A couple billion,
10 billion,
billions.
10 million, or 10 billion?
billion. Oh, I think there were
Like two or 3 billion. I
yeah,
thought.
yeah. I thought it was 2 billion.
I say 10. Jesus.
Yeah, I was like,
But I mean,
damn,
like,
brother.
That's how much they got back.
yeah, but like it was a good investment, like, right? So like, and
Yeah,
that
but
was
that
just
was
one
something that
game.
would pay immediate dividends, though. You see what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
that's the other part I was going to before. I was like, I don't know how deep in a hole these companies are because you're not just picking up the game, you're saving them. Obviously, you're opening up a checkbook so they can make more games for you. But how deep in the hole are they already?
Mm.
Like in the negative and in the red. So if you're spending, if they're asking for 4 billion or 4 million, whatever, like, and they're already like in debt, what I'm saying? So you're absorbing that debt and those people as well that you got to pay. So it isn't just, the engine, the games, how much of their, bullshit are you incurring on your side as well?
Mhm.
Like all the other crap that's coming with them. So like, again,
John Mark in the chat said 3.2 billion for Minecraft. That sounds about
Yeah, I
right.
said 2 or 3 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
I mean,
mean,
it's
but
obviously not they're in a buying spree, so they obviously want to get content for Game Pass and just have somebody, making exclusives for them, again. So I can see Crytek. It would make sense if they basically said, okay, we have 20 billion to spend, and Crytek's going to take up 6 of it. How much do we going to use on these other ones? You know what I'm saying? I'm using that as a
yeah.
max. So maybe, and they said, okay, we can either have Crytek or we can have these other 3 smaller studios. Which one do you want to pick up? I'd much rather have Crytek.
It depends on the studios because you got to remember these big studios now, like Naughty Dog, even when it came to Bungie back in the day, they all started little. All right, and I know a lot of people look towards those development studios now, and it's like, well, man, Microsoft needs to do this or Microsoft needs to do that, but why can't they, build from a small talented studio and make have it build up into a Naughty Dog or a Bungie or something like that. Like people are automatically asking for absolute instant satisfaction here. And you got to remember, like even the big studios, they started small and they built their way up. So when it comes to like Compulsive, right, who did We Happy Few, and before that they did Contrast. Like people look kind of scratch their heads about that acquisition. I was like, but it's a small company. They have showed some talent. All right, they haven't ever really had the funds to do a bigger project. Why not invest in them and let them build and evolve? And if they see that it's a talented team, they can definitely go places in the future. Like a lot of people are asking for instant gratification here, and I'm like, damn, that's not the way this industry was built. I don't know, K Mega, what do you think about these rumors, man? IO, Relic, and Crytek. What are your thoughts, brother?
Okay, well, with IO Entertainment, I mean, it makes sense for the sense of Game Pass, because you have those new episodic Hitmans, and of course, they could try to make Kane and Lynch again. Those games were somewhat
Kind of like
popular.
reboot Kane and Lynch. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. Yeah,
Like, yeah, I can see that.
yeah, you could do that. So, and then you could have those to be episodic, or just have them just be games, and then have them to be in there in Game Pass. Now, Relic Entertainment to me is just a surefire hit to me because of the fact of Age of Empires and those Dawn of War games, or the Warhammer, I should say, games.
Yeah.
But the other games that we haven't talked about with them is Company of Heroes.
That's
Those
true.
games, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They got Company of Heroes as well. So if you think about that, those scream, because people ain't going to go buy those type of games just in abundance, but those games scream. Well, not so much War of Company of Heroes, but the Warhammers and in the Age of Empires and all that, because those type of games would just be perfect for Game Pass, because there's always an audience for it. I mean, just look at Halo Wars. Halo Wars the first one did really good. I don't know how good the second one did. Some said it flopped. Some said it did decent. Who knows? I just know that they're great games. So, and I like those type of games. And so, instead of me paying $40 to $60, that keeps me to keep my membership to Game Pass. So, I think that's cool. And also, Relic Games made an Xbox exclusive on the 360, and I didn't even know this, called The Outfit, which is a military game as well. So
I kind of remember that, actually.
yeah, it's kind of like in that same realm of Company of Heroes, shooter, but it's just a little different. I remember I had it, I played it for a little while, but it was a cool little game. I mean, it was over the shoulder third person shooter, so it was cool. It was a cool little 360 game. So,
Oh, brother, if I can just interrupt you real quick. Yo, Christopher Hart said that Game Pass basically sounds more and more like fest. Yo, brother, if if you consider $10 a month to play damn near 200 games and have the first party games in that library day and date, if you consider that a microtransaction fest, that's on you, brother.
man, check
It's
this
a
out.
great deal for gamers, is what it is, man.
To kill that argument, if PlayStation decided today that they were going to do a PlayStation Pass, and that they could do,
Oh, he'd be right on board, yeah.
and they would have those games like Dreams and those other games that's going to be coming out where nobody's really going to buy, but those games will be available for you just paying a $10 fee a month. Bruh, shut your mouth. We don't need to do that. Love you, Chris, but you know what I'm saying? Stop it with the fan.
Yo, guys, in the chat, my bad, but L Paul said that and I don't know this, if anybody can check this out real quick. Sega owns Relic, so he doesn't believe that they can buy Relic right now.
That was another thing that I was going to just bring up, is about, like, in 2004 Sega did acquire Relic, but also
they're in trouble right now anyway.
Yeah, Sega's in trouble. We talked about this on GRG last night. They have to restructure and replan of their whole tactic about where their games are going, and actually be a true third party instead of having PlayStation have exclusive games. So most likely Yakuza and Persona, Persona's definitely, it's a given. I think one of the announcements that Nintendo's going to bring is that they're going to get Persona 5. They're going to get that new Persona that's going to be coming out here, I think this year or next year, and Xbox is eventually going to get the Yakuza, maybe even Persona as well. They're because their money was low, they didn't get the return that they thought that they was going to get, and so they have to restructure it. There's 2 articles talking about it, so check it out. But yeah, no, those days is gone, and who knows? I mean, we talked about this last night, that it actually could be that where some of those games that studio that they have, they just might be like, look, man, we're not getting enough money back, or we just want capital right now. And if Microsoft is willing to give us the money for it right now, we'll just take our losses and just move on from
I think Microsoft would pay more money than the studio is worth for Relic, just
right.
because they have a PC base in there when it comes to like
That's the whole
Warhammer.
thing.
They're already doing Age of Empires for them though. So what else are we gonna get out of them?
Well, like I said, like they made the Warhammers. They've did the game called the Outfit. I don't know if they'll ever bring Outfit again, but Company of Heroes, which is another PC, kind of popular PC game as well.
Sold it too, by the way.
Huh? What'd you say?
Sold it when they sold off to Sega. I think they own that now too.
Right. So that's the thing to me, is where that. And maybe there's also some deals in there, because remember, maybe last year when we were talking about those rumors of what was that Sega game that everybody thought was going to be coming to be an exclusive on Xbox? I can't think of the name of it right now. I showed the gameplay of it not too long ago. It's a little like futuristic game, dude sliding on his back and he's shooting.
Vanquish.
Vanquish, yeah. Like, we don't know if they're gonna if they don't have like any type of deals that they're working with Xbox as well on top of that. I mean, look, it's all, we don't know about these negotiations. I'm just going off of just saying, if Relic Games is going to be one of those studios, it would make sense because of Age of Empires and the Space Marine and the Warhammer games and the Company of Heroes and those type of things. Now, Crytek, on the other hand, look, when I posted it, man, it got me excited, because the first thing I thought about was Rise 2. Now, again, it's all pie in the sky. We don't know if this is true or not, but I agree with Fred, is that engine, even though Don thinks the engine is very complex and a lot of people don't like to use the Cry engine, but man, just think, if Xbox, they have Havoc, and now they also have the Cry engine.
Well, Havoc is not a game development engine, though.
I know, but I'm saying to sell out, to lease out, which means there's more money coming into Microsoft, more money that could be coming to the Xbox division as well. If you got that, and it also can make for, like, okay, Halo is going to be having this new engine, this Slipstream or Slipspace, whatever, Slipspace, and so they could have that for a different type of games that that's like like Halo, futuristic type of shit.
Oh, that's only a Halo engine. They never shared the Halo.
Okay, so that even makes more sense if they have another engine that they could use within themselves, just like what Sony does with that one engine that they've been using for all of their games.
Oh, no, I don't want a Sony Blueprint engine on Xbox, man.
But I mean,
don't do it.
I'm just saying it would make sense. It would make sense, and then you had it. Like, I mean, just think about this. Let's say that they get Crytek, and then they have that engine, and then let's say that the initiative uses that quadruple A game that they're going to make and use off that engine. Like, come, bruh, are you serious?
It depends.
Like, that
now,
would be insane,
brother. When you talked about like basically leasing out or doing a contract to put out the engine, for other developers to use and stuff like that. Another thing you got to think of right now, even with people over at Unity, they rebuilt the Unity engine, all that good stuff. Right now, Unreal is the king of all development engines, and like they offer Unreal for free, and then the developer can go in and purchase different assets that they want to use within the engine. I hear that engine is super easy to use. I believe the Don is using that for his game as well.
Yes.
Do you really want to put yourself out there and compete? It's like Microsoft deciding that they're going to get into the GPU race against Nvidia and now AMD or something like that. Do you really want to invest that much money in the Crytek engine to compete with like Unreal?
it's just more revenue coming in. It's not really going into a competition. It's just being look, Epic Games is doing what they need to do against Steam, and they're buying all types of shit, right? They got
They are, dude. Some
so
people are saying that they are grimy or they are savage, but
right,
they are
right.
working it, man.
PlayStation has used every tactic in the world to dominate this generation over Xbox. While Xbox came out hard in the beginning, they you know what I'm saying, the games has not been up to the graphical standard as what PlayStation has came out, and PlayStation has utilized every tool that they can, and you can say that that's grimy, but it's just business. It's time for Xbox to start doing the same thing. Look, it's not where they have to kind of throw it out like, hey, look, our engine's better than this engine, because they're going to still have those third party deals. But it just would make sense to if this Crytek thing is a reality, then to not only just to exploit it and to use it and bring games that would be good for Game Pass and also be good to be exclusives and for their PC narrative. People want to see, there's PC gamers that want to see another Crisis. Console gamers don't really know that much about Crisis because it's an older game. People kind of like, it's just another shooter. But that game was the shit on PC. You have then for console gamers, everybody I talked to, even though at the time people would mum about it because of those ratings, but everybody really wants Rise to come back, most likely. People want to see what they could do with Rise.
They want to see how it will evolve. All right.
Right. And then they got Homefront too. I mean, Homefront tanked. It did bad. But if you got the proper people behind it, because they're a shell of themselves, they're not this 500-600 team like they used to be. They're a shell of themselves, and they've been going through financial
Yeah.
issues
See,
and
I
stuff
knew
like
that.
that.
Yo,
So
L. Paul brought up a great point, and this is absolutely
mhm,
true. When it
yeah.
comes to the Crisis game, EA owns the rights to that game.
To what? Crisis?
Yes, it's
Okay.
not. It's not. Crytek doesn't own that. Like the EA owns the rights to that as the publisher of Crisis. They actually own the rights to that game. So
Oh, so they just made the game for them. Just like I just seen somebody talk about THQ owns a Homefront. So well, no
yeah,
Homefront. But I mean, but regardless, look, I think the engine would be there, and then that means that there would, if from everybody knocking for what they got, then if it's not Crisis and it's not Homefront, then you got Rise.
see,
And you
I
got
can
that,
see
and
out
then
of
that means
all
that they might get a deal off of it. Who
out of
knows?
all this, I can
But this is
see
just a rumor.
IO as like front and center as like that can definitely happen if IO really wanted to do Hitman as episodic. You look at Game Pass and you look at that space right there, and I know there are gamers out there saying that episodic games would be great in Game Pass, and I agree. A great business model right there. For people who like that, they can you know buy the subscription and have that game in Game Pass. If they really wanted to make Hitman episodic and work on it that way, even though I know when they came out with Hitman 2, it was the full game and stuff like that. But if they really wanted to do that, then Microsoft coming up to them like, hey, we have Game Pass. We would like to make you first party. You can go ahead and do Hitman episodic and all that good stuff. We give you freedom. I can see that happening almost more than the other two studios.
Well, what about Warface? Who owns Warface? Does Crytek
War
own them?
Warface, I have no idea.
That, that,
I heard the
that's
name before, but I don't.
that's
Yeah, Crytek has them.
I'm saying.
Warface has them.
That's another like game that they could be adding to their repertoire. Look, I just think that damn it, I want Rise too. I want Rise too. That's what I want.
And dude, I think there's a lot of people out there kind of championing this whole thing, and I think behind it emotionally, it's exactly what you said. I want Rise too, and I
Yes.
think that's what is going on a lot on social media. But Dark, you haven't chimed in on this yet. I want to hear exactly what you think with these three studios. What do you think is the probability of them all, and do you think that they would be good choices for Xbox to bring as first party developers?
I think the one that makes the most sense is Relic, and that's because they basically are inputting the mouse and keyboard control
Mm,
to the Xbox One.
mm.
So it would just make sense to bring over some RTS games to
And it would
the
cater to that
Xbox.
development team. They do
Right.
that and
It would
do it
cater
well.
to them, and then it will also cater to gamers who want to play those kind of games too. Um, I've never been a much of an RTS kind of guy, so it's not my cup of tea. But I could see a definite benefit for a lot of gamers who enjoy those kind of games. Um, I, I don't know about Crytek, because I know they had a falling out with Crytek in the past. I mean, yeah, maybe granted they have rekindled that relationship with them, but I don't know, man.
Oh,
I
baby,
can't
give me one more
see.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see like Crytek being like, yeah, we're gonna go with Xbox, especially after their whole spiel with them and Rise and Rome and Xbox being like Microsoft and Xbox going to them and being like, hey, we want to make a Rise 2 and Crytek being like, no, we're not, no, we're not gonna do that or not gonna give you the license to Rise 2. So I don't really see them picking up the Crytek. I think there's a lot of factors that go into Crytek as well, because they don't just develop games, they publish games, um they also have their own engine as well, the Cry engine. So I mean, I think they're more suited to just stay where they are and license out their engine to different companies and things like that.
Mm.
What was the other one again?
IO.
IO.
IO. IO. I could see them probably picking up IO because IO hasn't really made really great games in a long time, and the last couple of Hitmans haven't been that
Dude, the
great. I
last
mean,
Hitman is fire, man. What are you
the
talking about?
first one was good. The first Hitman, the first reboot of Hitman was good. I like the whole episodic thing.
Mm,
I didn't play it until it was completely done, and that's just what because that's how I enjoy my type of Hitman games. I played the second one, not that good, man. I tried to get through the second one and get through that whole narrative and stuff, and it's just it wasn't how I wanted Hitman to be because I absolutely enjoy those kind of games,
mm,
and that one just did not do it for me, and I just can't get behind that game. I mean, more power to you if you can, whatever. But it's just I think IO has a as a company, they they are kind of they're not doing as well as I think a lot of these other companies that are out there. So I mean, I could see them going Microsoft route, but I also, we also have to think about it this way that these are rumors, these aren't factual things yet until E3 we'll probably hear something about it.
mm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it's neither of these companies and
No,
they come out with something completely out of left field,
all right. Well, how about
where
this, Stark? How about this? Because you say completely out of left field, and I want to ask you this: do you think that they need more game studios right now?
um do I think they need more game
Yeah.
studios? No, not really. I think they have plenty of a variety of game studios already. I mean, they have the Coalition, they have 343, Ninja Theory, Playground, Undead Labs. They have who else? In Exile, Obsidian. They have a good variety of developers that can create different types of
Different
games.
games, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
different types of games. So they, you know, th- I for my opinion, in my opinion alone, I think Crytek has only made a couple games that I actually enjoyed, which was Rise, Son of Rome, and Crisis, and that was it. and those are the only games that I can really remember them actually making, and I actually enjoyed them. So, um, and then Relic, I've never played any of their games because I'm not an RTS guy. Um, IO, the only game I can think of is Hitman, and that's it. So
They've
it's
definitely
like
made more games. I just
I mean, yeah, they've made more games. I know that they made Kane and Lynch, but I never played those games. I don't know how those games
Kane and
play
Lynch
or
became
nothing.
something in the 360 era. Like there was quite a few people who were like, "Yo, have you played that game yet? Yo, that game is fire." All that good stuff. I
That
didn't get
Army
into it.
Crew was kind of like those little sleeper games.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get into those games, so I don't know anything about them. But I think they might throw something out of left field and say, hey, we're gonna pick up this studio and this studio, and then I can't see them doing a ton more studios because of the fact that I think what they have right now is a decent amount of studios, and that's the thing. We haven't even seen what these studios can bring, and they're gonna bring in more studios. Like,
I think
okay,
if they
you
do,
know,
if they do, because it's supposed to be that they're supposed to get three more, and you're right. I agree with you on that point. I just think that they want to eradicate that whole notion that Xbox has no games and that they'll be pumping multiple games each year once everything starts rolling. Once they
brother,
start,
not only that, but Game Pass, they're kind of like they're trying to reach into the PC space as well. Like
yeah.
you need more
See that
studios to
that's
do all that
that's
stuff.
my biggest problem is that they they're so much focused on bringing the games to Game Pass and PC that they're kind of um that they need to think about what games they're bringing to those instead of, oh, we just need to bring games to them. And I'm sure they are thinking about that, but we haven't heard anything, so we don't really know. But it's just like you can't just be like, you know what, I'm gonna pick up this studio because they're gonna bring us Game Pass games. Let's get them. Let's pump them out. Let's pump them out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You just can't do that. It doesn't work that way.
that yeah, it does. That's the future, bro. Because if you don't think PlayStation is going to do the same thing, you're crazy. I mean that's just what
What, just pump out games and not have them be these awesome types of games?
they're still going to make.
If you look at what Sony's gonna do next generation, didn't Sean Layden come out and say that they're gonna take more time on their games? So if you're saying just pumping out games
So
for
what?
Xbox, that I don't think that's gonna be their best solution.
I think
I
they're
think
already
they need to
marketing
take
because they
more
know what they're
time,
gonna do. They know what
but I
Xbox is
think
gonna do, and
but
they're
I
already
think
going
I
out.
think Xbox needs to take more time to polish their games and really get to their studios and say, "Hey, this needs to be polished. If it's not polished, we're not
More
putting it
time.
out."
We haven't had a new franchise announced since 2013.
Something like that, yeah.
They've had time, so
They
like the game.
have.
What
And
Out
that's
now.
the
No,
problem is that I don't
Recore was
think
announced, I think,
yeah,
2015.
yeah. So
but I also don't think that
He's like, you said
Microsoft
Recore.
is putting their foot on their necks of the developers and saying, "Hey,
then
you
it comes
know,
to that whole thing of where it's freedom.
it's very kumbaya. It's very
I
kumbaya,
like
and it's
Kumbaya.
like, come on, guys. Like we need to see. I want to see. I don't want to see more from Xbox because I think a lot of their games are pretty good. Like, I mean, Gears, Halo, Rise, Sunset, Quantum Break. I even think State of Decay 2 had something there, even though it wasn't very good. It was buggy and but I think it did have something. It had something there, and I think Sea of Thieves has something there. It's just not my type of game. Um, I want to see more polish and more them getting games out that are not along the lines of God of War. I want to see something different. I don't want them to copy exactly what PlayStation's doing.
Yeah, so that's
Because
why
if
when
you do that, because if once you do that, you become them at that point.
no, you
So it's like,
initialized yourself as second place because you're not being
right,
creative, you're
exactly.
not doing anything new. You're
Right.
following what they call follow the leader syndrome. All right,
Right.
and you don't want to
Exactly.
do that.
So
No, no. And
right.
yo,
Exactly.
shout out to Christopher Hart who keeps talking about VR, and I just want to let you know, brother, because I feel you might not like do the research behind what you talk about. You, as a PlayStation fan, might not want to talk about Xbox VR because Xbox owns stake in Oculus
They do.
through Facebook. All right,
And
so
Oculus just came out with their new uh,
That's
Oculus Quest or whatever it is.
if you want
That
PlayStation
looks
VR to
sick.
look like crap in a comparison to another platform doing VR on console, then keep talking about that, brother. Go ahead. But you might not want to do that, man.
And plus, I don't think Microsoft is in the position right now to think about going towards VR
They need
fully.
more studios.
Well, I don't think it's that. I think they just need. I think they need to focus more on their gaming side and really focus on what those games are going to be pushing out. So it's more along the lines of them figuring out how to get the market back to where people are in their favor more. I
They're
don't think
focusing on
fully
mindshare
people will
right now.
be in their favor like they are not now. I don't think there'll be like a full on, like Xbox is going to win. I think it's going to be more like Xbox is doing better and I'm glad that they're doing better kind of thing.
I think what they have to do this year, I mean, what they have to do coming up this next generation is to regain their identity. They didn't have they didn't have an identity
I
except
agree with that.
except for like just three strong titles. I mean, because it doesn't seem from outside looking in that they haven't supported the the new IPs that they came out, because every time every last one of them except for Killer Instinct, you didn't hear anything negative about that, but all the rest of them there's been some kind of turmoil. If it wasn't Rise or Quantum Break or Sunset Overdrive, then there was always an even and you didn't really hear anything about Recore either, but of course.
And that's the thing, they really need to figure out their marketing as well.
Okay, see that this is a catch-22 because somebody gave me something and showed that they were like really high rank markings with um with their advertisement. They're like in the top 5 or something like that, and I'm not trying to damage control for it because I'm with everybody else here. It's like, look, I don't see that top 5 in marketing. I mean, they showed me this list and it came
Is it
from.
Xbox or is it
That
Microsoft?
Yeah,
Because
right,
that's
it's
two
yeah,
more
totally different
yeah,
things.
it's
yeah.
more towards Microsoft
For
probably.
Microsoft, and then it was. But I remember they showed me that article. It was last week or the week before last. I might have to pull that up and show y'all in the DMs. But to me, it's like this. I remember. Matter of fact, I'll just go from last week when I went to go see Endgame. I didn't see any. It was amazing to me that before the movie trailers and after the movie trailer, Sony had Days Gone advertised for the biggest movie that might have to be potential to be the biggest movie ever.
Yeah.
Nothing about Xbox on there, and that to me is where
Well, that's because we didn't have anything
should
coming out
be.
at the time.
Is where it's like, look, I mean, you have to sporting events. And now since I seen what Sony did with putting shit out in movie theaters and big budget movies,
I see
do
it with
that,
Xbox too, but it's
do
it's
that.
not it's not as prevalent as you're right, like as Sony does it, but I have seen Xbox advertise in the movie theater and online, but most of the time when they do that, it's usually like either third party type of games, or the only one I actually saw that was first party was, I think, State of Decay 2. That was the only one that I saw that had a lot more advertisement than the other ones. So it goes to show you how much faith they have kind of in their games
Yeah,
in a
brother. Like
sense of.
if they could have done it, if you could have seen like even the anniversary update for Sea of Thieves. Now, granted, Sea of
Mhm.
Thieves is a year old, but putting it out there, showing the masses that there is a story, that there is an arena, that you can fish, and stuff like
Actually, they
that.
did do that. They did actually do that before before the previews of Endgame for me at my local theater here.
They showed you
Um,
the
but
anniversary update.
but you also got to remember, I live in California as well. So
Yeah, it's like your
this
own
is their
separate
home
country.
turf. This is their home turf here, and Microsoft is
Seen
home
up,
turf here.
Sean,
So
I was like, whoa, that's huge. I'm a big ups to Sony
Mhm.
for doing that. I'm like, I know that they paid big coin, but again, that had some people in there that was like, you know what, after the movie, or maybe when I get my check next week or whatever, I'm gonna cop that game because it looks dope. And I understand that, like, if you try to, if Xbox did an advertisement and you just seen Days Gone, that's where the whole thing, if anything, comes to reality, is when it comes to graphics, is when you see Days Gone and then it's like Xbox showed Sea of Thieves. It
right.
ain't gonna get that same type of
Well,
reception.
the funny thing about that is that they showed Sea of Thieves first, right? And then they showed Days Gone right after. It was like I was just like, oh man, why you
Covering
gotta do
every
that?
base.
Why do you gotta do that to Xbox, man? like
So,
it totally knocked down what Sea of Thieves was doing and really brought up what Sony was doing with Days Gone. It was kind of sad, but I think if they focus more on marketing their games out there, which I think they will with their new studios that they have, um, I think they're really focusing on getting these games out and having them be polished to the point to where they're almost along the lines of Sony IP games, but I think they're going to have definitely a different variety of games than Sony has.
Mhm.
Definitely.
well, yeah,
Definitely.
that they need to. That Xbox can have their single player games, but Xbox is synonymous for multiplayer games, and
Well,
that's
there's
Mhm.
I think Xbox is synonymous for the entire package. Now, granted, like with
true.
games like Halo, you might not have liked the story,
Not so much for the Xbox One this generation.
but you usually get a single player story, a multiplayer. You get kind of like the whole package in an Xbox game. Now, whether or not you like the game or not, that's up to you. It's all opinion or whatnot. But I think that's what Xbox is kind of known for. I know people have been talking about like single player
And they'll
experiences and all that
continue
good
that.
stuff.
I guarantee you they'll
They
continue to do the full package.
Well, they see the value. They see the value in multiplayer.
Yeah.
Continued, active users, people playing it a lot. I know a lot of people praise kind of like the Sony first party exclusives, the single player and stuff like that. But when you look at what the games are, what games are being played the most on the Sony platform from month to month, unless it's a launch month, you don't see those single player experiences in those lists.
Bread.
What happened?
He's
Impressive.
like, wrap your
Yeah,
shit
no,
up.
no, we went way over again. I think that's like the third show in a row, guys. I
Well, it's because
will,
Mega was here. That's
I will
why.
get back on my
I
mod.
wasn't here last week. If y'all went up there and did this shit, I mean, that's
No,
just
I think, no, I think we might have ended on time last time.
oh, there you go. You just said 3 weeks in a row.
All right, 3 out of 4. Okay, I will get back on my grind on being the moderator that everybody loves. And next Saturday it will be
GRG is
strictly
rubbing
2
off
hours.
on you,
All
man.
right,
G
but
love is the GRG is rubbing off on you.
yeah, a little bit, man, a little bit. I gotta say. But guys, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, we got to get those plugs in. And I'm going to start with the man who just said it so eloquently in the chat. Yo, Predator, what do you got for us, man? What are you up to, and where can people get a hold of you to talk games?
Predator Space H2OS,
Oh,
not underscore, since I've been saying it wrong for years now. Um, so hit me up on Xbox Live, Twitter, MySpace, pretty much everywhere, and I'll get you on some games later on this week.
nice, brother. Yo, Dark, you are back on it in terms of gameplay and voting. I will say the poll is up now. People can go to my Twitter page at xbot448 and can vote for the best gameplay. Dude, I think you did a great job. I like the way it looks. Hopefully, we'll see it again very soon. But why don't you let people know what you're up to and where people can talk games with you, man?
Yeah, I'm a little upset that the Anthem gameplay that I had on here kind of froze for a second, like for almost a whole gameplay of the
It
Anthem.
wasn't your gameplay. It was probably just the game freezing.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It wasn't. I don't know. When I was watching it,
That was your
it
gameplay.
seemed like it was fine, but you guys can find me on Twitter at Darkonimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live and PlayStation at the same name. And you guys can find me here every week making fun of K Mega and all his bullshit
All this
with
bullshit.
Save Block. No, just playing. It's all jokes, people. But yeah, man, love being here. Love talking to the chat, talking to the panel. It's always a fun
It's
time.
good times, man. It's good times. Mega, you
Yeah.
came back. You were absent last Saturday. We ended the show on time. This Saturday, we're a half hour early. I think Pred might be blaming you, might be blaming me. I don't know. But why don't you let people know what's going on with your channel, what's going on with DRG, and where they can go and talk games with you, brother?
You know, I give two shits about what Predator think. You know what I'm saying? We ride until the wheels fall off, baby. Let's go. And
Yeah,
Optimus,
you ride till the wheels fall off. I know.
man, Optimus, I just don't know.
Usually it's a pickup truck, too.
Yeah. Anyway, no,
With his hillbilly teeth.
glad to be back. And man, you can check me out on my channel, KMega405. I'm going to stream some Mortal Kombat story mode. I have not done that story mode yet. So I'm going to do that most likely tomorrow. Tonight is going to be the finishing night. I feel it. I feel it that Assassin's Creed is going to get beaten. So,
Oh, you're actually gonna beat a game this time?
man, I mean, I'm fraud.
Damn.
And if I beat this game, man, I mean, I'm making myself look bad. Play games and shit, right? But
If you don't beat it tonight, I'm gonna call you a fraud for the rest of your life. So
that's fine. I don't care. That's great. But anyway, yeah, man, glad to be here, man. So let's wrap it up. See you guys next week, and don't forget to check out GRG every Friday night, man. 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific.
Nice, brother. And you should just go with the Eastern time because that's the time that everybody knows, and they just adjust
Let-
from there. So you can
let-
just say Eastern, and then
Started off with Central Time and just go from there.
All right, guys. As usual, huge shout out to the chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I want to give a couple special shout outs here. I'm checking it out on my computer right now. We are going down the list. Shout out to Board Game Renegade, Sir X-Man, Ricardo Willis, UK Daz, Board Game Man of quite a few times for hitting up that super chat. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to the entire chat for hanging out with us. I love seeing the chat active. You guys talking about games. You guys, joking around with each other. It means a lot to see you guys here. It is Saturday. The gamers got a game. The poll is up on Twitter. Vote for who had the best gameplay. I know it was me, but go ahead and make it competitive. And then hopefully I win at the end.
it was actually Predator, but he won last week. So.
Oh my goodness, yeah. But see, it doesn't count because that's 2 weeks in a. Anyway, guys, it is Saturday. The gamers got a game, and I'm gonna end the show the way I do every week. We will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Peace. Look at K Mega with that fatality at the end.
Yo, Mega, my MK killed you this week, man. It killed you. My gameplay killed you.
Oh my goodness.
I'll agree with that. I think